back.
Had a few technical difficulties with the internet.
Yep, but we're back. And we're good to continue. I think we only missed like one or two
We've missed a
dialogues.
few lines, but that's honestly really good. It really to catch it that quickly.
Yeah. For us, too. We would have kept going.
There have been times.
Well, then, isn't that as good as saying that she was the one who killed him?
Yeah, so yeah. The chick with the gun was the one that fought him. And is, so technically the one who killed him. But it was in a fight to the death, so...
It's not her fault. Totally.
Yeah, that's not the sort of thing that you can just let go and move on from.
Miss Clorand has always placed great emphasis on the honorable nature of the duel. If her opponent doesn't yield, she will not stop either.
So it's like, if the opponent doesn't surrender, I'm gonna keep beating them till they're either dead or surrender.
Isn't there one in between where they're knocked unconscious?
Yeah. But apparently she did not go for knocking the person unconscious.
Oh,
That would mean Dad would
They're
not...
a murderer.
That would
Not
mean...
kill.
She knew Master Callas beforehand and greatly respected him, but seeing how he was resolute in the arena,
She didn't back out.
there was only ever one choice she could have made.
I mean, she could have knocked him unconscious. Yeah, Streamlabs was being weird for a second.
It's not that I don't understand her at all, but I just can't deal with this yet.
I mean, yeah.
Don't worry, Navia.
But it has been 3
Paimon
years.
knows how you feel. You don't have...
Afterward,
We
Miss
don't want her
Clorand
help
told us
anyway.
that at the start of the duel, Master Callas requested that she ensure Demoiselle Navia's safety.
Because, you know, the whole reason he's here in a battle to the death is because of being set up by someone who will probably go
Yeah.
after his daughter next.
No way. And then they did.
Yeah, and that indicates that he was assuming he'd die in the duel.
Yes, that is our understanding
yeah.
as well.
Oh, Papa. What madness drove you to ask the person who killed you to take care of me?
Because it proved they were strong enough to kill him. So we're a strong fighter, question mark.
All right.
We're strong
Anyway, that's the information I wanted to share with you.
Oh,
Even
you
if it
wanted
did
to share
sound
that,
like
or
I
you were
was
kinda
just complaining
forced
towards
to
the
share
end.
that by circumstance?
All we said was, hey, how did your dad die?
Yeah.
And
that
then
is
we
all
got
said.
this whole thing.
Thanks. You two should go and rest. This was quite a day after all.
Yo.
Yeah. Everyone's eat.
Paimon, you didn't do
Please,
anything except eat
relax and get some
food.
sleep. We
Yeah,
will ensure
she
you
saved
rest
her
sound.
life. Good job, Paimon. You
Good
did it.
job. Didn't save our life. We still drank the poison tea.
Yeah. It's alright, we're an alien. We aren't killed by it.
Yeah, it's like, we're sort of immune to most poisons, probably.
Paimon slept so well. This place feels almost too safe.
We say underground in the sewers.
Huh? Navia? Where did the other two go?
I sent them back to Poisson. It's Spina di Rosula's place of origin, and where we have our headquarters. There's not much for them to do here at the moment.
Paimon gets the feeling that you're just trying to get them off your back. But never mind that. When did you get back? Were you waiting here the whole time?
No, I just returned after going out for a while.
Did you
did some
sleep at
investigating
all?
yesterday regarding the name Vacher.
No.
So you didn't sleep at all?
Whoever killed my father just tried to kill me. I am not getting sleep.
Until I figure out what this new lead of this suspect who witnessed one of the other murders, where he is.
How could I after having such critical new evidence appear?
Oh, hey, that's actually what she said.
Yeah.
Guess Paimon wasn't speaking for everyone just now, huh?
Unfortunately, this name seems to have been wiped from existence.
Oh, goody.
It doesn't seem to have a match anywhere.
That's suspicious.
What?
That the person doesn't exist in any sort of database. as existing before the crime because it was a lover that was supposedly in Fontaine for at least some time to become a lover. And no information of this name shows up.
I suspect.
So that means it
those
was an
behind this were already
alias
taking
from the
steps to
get-go?
hinder an investigation
Which
from
is
this angle.
bad.
But that does prove that this
Sorry,
Fauché
lady.
person is a key witness in the
Your lover
incident.
was
Oh
never
wait,
looking
no,
good.
or it could be that that the murderers wiped him from the databases
Oh, I guess that.
to keep people from
Ever mind.
finding him and looking up information on the
You
witness.
think they just kill him?
That we weren't too late though?
He might be dead. He might also just be dead too.
He's probably just dead.
But they also wiped him from any information database, so you can't look it up and go ask family and friends.
No,
What
there is
happened?
one ray of hope. One place in Fontaine that they would find almost impossible to threaten, no matter how much they wanted to.
Is it jail?
And that is the archives kept by Chief Justice Neuvillette. A place where detailed files on all the cases in recent years are kept.
Okay, but if he was never brought before as a key witness, how would he be in the files for the cases? If they managed to keep him from being a
If
witness,
the Osuna
testifying.
you met is one of the young women who went missing recently, we should be able to find some related information there.
Okay, and by recently, we mean in the last 20 years.
So Neuvillette maintains an archive of
Yeah.
case files? Whew. Guess that's the hard-working Chief Justice for you.
I mean, of course he does. Where would he keep... You guys don't have computers yet. Why wouldn't he have paper
But we
copies?
have AI.
Why wouldn't we have paper copies of every single case file? We don't trust the computer judge to remember every case file and all the evidence of every case file. Never. It could never do that.
In that case, let's go talk to him, shall we? Aren't you coming along, Navia? Did you get tired?
No, she doesn't want to talk to the guy.
No, it's nothing. Let's go see the Honorable Chief Justice.
Yeah, she doesn't want to talk to the guy. But now we have the sewers underneath the city.
Wonderful.
And now we have the whole city.
Calais
Maybe.
is right up ahead. Come on.
Also, this is a big government building.
Yeah.
Oh man, is this a big... This sure just feels like an office, not like an office building, but like...
Halt! Please state your business here. The Chief Justice is presently occupied with official matters.
Darn.
This place does look pretty heavily guarded. Guess that proves that Neuvillette's files are really secure.
Hey,
Or the person
don't you
who
recognize
created
us?
it and destroyed the files. That would never.
Don't you recognize us? We're the attorneys for the most recent case.
Huh? Who are you? Just to be clear, I don't care who you are or who you might be related to. Our rules make no exceptions.
Darn.
See? They've got great discipline, too.
Yep, Hyman can tell. If you're here just to crack jokes, I can point you towards the exit. Unlike some, we're busy, so please leave if you don't have a reason to be here.
We do have a reason to be here. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here.
No. What I meant to say is, shouldn't you remember us from a few days ago? We were at the trial of the great magician Linny.
Oh, yes, I remember. I read about it in the Steambird. You must be Linny's attorneys. It's all coming back to me now.
We're here today to report and archive some information on a follow-up case.
Huh. Is that even a thing?
Is that even a thing?
Of course. Don't worry. We're here on official business.
You can trust.
Trust us.
Immediately
Source,
suspicious.
Trust me, bro.
Trust me, bro. I have this very official document from Neuvillette saying I can do what I want.
Right there now.
Signed by him, the Chief
Justice is
Justice.
just inside.
Thanks so much.
Okay, we're at least just walking up to the Chief Justice and asking him for the document instead of like breaking into his archive.
Yeah.
Please come in.
Woo, we can go in. They had to load the room first.
No, I think it's that it took a second for the buzzer.
He has a typewriter. That sure is a typewriter.
You.
Sorry to barge in, Monsieur Neuvillette. We only like to get in because we
Good job,
want-
Paimon.
They're trying. They're doing their best. You can tell they aren't from Fontaine.
It's like right up front, we're like, sorry we lied. It's like,
These darn foreigners.
why are we even saying we lied? Just say why we're here. We don't have to tell him that we lied to the door guard.
He knows because he was already just told, hey, they're here because of this. Like, hey, we're actually not here because of this.
It's all right.
But it's
Please let me
important,
know
I
how I
swear.
may be of
Please
assistance
don't
to
throw
you.
us in jail for lying to you.
It's alright, just tell me what's happening.
Of course.
So you're not mad at us?
Paimon, just move on.
We're looking for a man called Vacher. He may have been an eyewitness in the serial disappearances case. If we can find him, we may be able to unearth some key information on the case.
Ah, I see. In that case, please wait here a moment while I browse through the files.
We also probably should have mentioned that he's not showing up in any files
At all.
outside of this archive, and that's why we're here.
He's so easy to talk to.
Just a book. Oh, the clock. Many minutes
Unfortunately.
later.
I'm
Unfortunately.
quite certain that no one by the name of Vacher has been involved in any case, criminal or civil, in the past several years.
Darn. So it was a fake
There are
name.
no records of him either in the files or in my memory.
We're back to square
Traveler,
one.
what if it was really just a dream?
It was not just a dream. Well, it was just a dream, but it was also a drug-induced hallucination. So, like,
with touching spirit water.
woo, drinking spirit water.
Salty spirit water because it's tears.
It's tears. That's the secret of this magic water and why it's secretly salty. It's not because it's from the sea. No, it's because it's
Is
tears.
that so? All right then. Thank you so much, Monsieur Neuvillette. We'll take our leave now.
Ahem.
Maybe we should explain more to him. No? Okay. Ask him to keep an eye out for it? No?
Miss
Okay.
Navia, I can understand how you feel. Your father, Callas, was a truly exceptional man.
Oh,
We
that's all
deeply
you have to
regret his
say?
passing.
About the guy you guys charged with murder and had killed?
And what are you trying to say, Monsieur Neuvillette? Are you trying to console me? Extend your sympathy? Or just express some tendril of regret? No. You are not trying to do any of that. I can hear it in your voice. There's no emotion behind your words.
Ooh.
You only said those things because you felt like you should.
Not because you actually felt bad.
It's just like last time. After my father took his place in the duelist ring, I pushed through the guards to talk to you as a last resort.
You know, because you're the judge.
You even told me then that you thought there was something fishy with the case, yet you still allowed the duel to go ahead. In your eyes, the value of a human life
is not
is
why we're
nothing
here.
compared to those cold laws you hold so dear.
We're gonna get kicked out anyway. She's towing a line of we're about to get escorted out. Even though we were gonna walk out
If you
normally.
truly regret my father's death,
Now we need to be
then
shown
why
that
didn't you call a stop to the duel? Why didn't you give me the power to stop him from throwing his life away? Why did you just let him die, despised and hated by all? Everything was hanging on a thread at that moment. Just the tiniest effort could have changed everything.
Why are we talking about this now?
Yeah, what
There
are
are
we
still
talking
so
about?
many things I never got to tell him. So many questions he still owes me answers to.
Oh, it's not because it's this guy's fault, it's because your dad's fault. So shut up and stop blaming me.
It's just, it is sort of this guy's fault, but it's also a lot of people's fault.
Yeah, it's
And
kinda
she
like
can't-
everyone's fault.
She can't really blame an individual person.
And so she's just blaming everyone.
If you really have no heart, then just look me in the eyes. I, Navia, will show you the true meaning of regret.
Is that a threat?
It's like, are we done? Are we done with whatever this is?
I'm sorry.
Can I
Miss
please
Navia.
go back to what I was doing? I was actually busy.
I was actually probably in a meeting with someone about a
And my
different
father
crime
are
case.
Truly
You know,
alike.
like
You keep
how
all kinds of things in your heart
guard
and
was
never
murdered
say a
in
word
front
to
of our very
anyone.
eyes in the courtroom. We're kind of busy with that. If you could leave.
We're trying to
and
investigate
stop complaining
that.
about your dad dying. That'd be
3 years
great.
ago. Like, man, this is a cold case, sort of cold case.
I mean, it's not.
Because it's reopened now that we have new evidence about the murders.
Yeah.
And because it is very suspicious that he was specifically a criminal investigator. And this was the case he was investigating before being charged with murder and offed.
Yeah.
Well, you'd think that'd be a little suspicious, but you
It's not so
know.
much that you can't feel, but that you would never express anything.
Goodness, are you done?
In
I
any
know we're being
case,
disrespectful
everyone
to the
already
person
knows
who is
full well the
expressing their grief,
apathy
but
of the
at the
Chief
same time-
Justice.
Yeah, she's like, you don't feel anything. You have no
apologies for
feelings.
taking
You
my
can't feel
emotions out on
things.
you, Monsieur Chief Justice. Let's go, Traveler and Paimon.
Yeah, you apologize, but you're not sorry. So, like, why are you apologizing?
I know, right?
You were just yelling at him for saying things he didn't mean.
Now you're gonna say things you don't mean. How dare you?
Now we have to awkwardly talk about what just happened.
Navia, are you okay?
No.
Oh, we got rain. I think. Yep.
That means
Rain.
it's a sad scene.
It's raining.
Are we not partners anymore because you're
No.
mad at everyone?
Actually, it's a fun thing with Fontaine. It means that there's a court hearing happening in the opera house, and the Hydro Archon makes it rain for ambiance.
Bruh.
So who knows if you're gonna win this case or lose this case, but I'm gonna make it rain while it happens.
You're right.
That is.
Wasn't it still sunny when we went into the building?
Wow.
And there's
Probably has something to do with if you're guilty and wanting to, you know,
Strange.
sentence people to executions, but not being allowed to do that.
So you
Now
said
that I think
it's
of it,
not the duels
on the
and
day
they
my
have
father was
duels
convicted of
till
murder,
great,
it was
wonderful
also
days.
raining.
On the day your dad was convicted, it was also raining. Almost like this happens whenever court hearings.
What is it? Did you think of something?
Yeah, that my dad died and I'm sad about it.
Was he outside when
he
it
was
happened?
outside. It was uncovered and the rain could fall there. Why? Do you think the rain could have affected the crime scene? That thought has occurred to us before. We've even expanded the search area to try to account for that, but didn't find anything of value.
But there was something you didn't know at the time about water. About this mysterious murder.
Wait,
But
The fact that people can be turned into water, and so this best friend that might have been murdered in front of your dad was probably murdered by the people trying to silence your dad.
So you're
using
saying
the water.
that the true murderer could have been turned into water and then got washed away with the rain?
Oh, the true murderer is also dead, you know.
That's dumb.
Because they like to do that. Kill the key witness.
Yeah. And if that's what had happened, then no one would have believed your dad, even if he explained what he saw to the authorities.
You know, because he just saw his best friend die, and the person who do
And
it
then the person who did it
dissolves into water.
magically washed away.
It's like, and that's my argument, Judge. It's like,
Yeah, alright, have fun. You're dead.
I hate to tell you, this doesn't hold water.
You die. It doesn't hold water. But it was, you die for lying in front of the court. Goodbye.
And so it's like, no, I believe that I was right and that I am not guilty. And so I'm going to do the dual thing because I know in an actual courtroom I can't argue that he turned into water
Yeah.
until we find out about the water thing.
really
Which
think
we
I
did
found
not
a
know.
true
And
genius
so
for a
only he
partner.
knew and he died.
You're completely right. How did I not connect the dots earlier?
Seriously. I think it's just that you guys don't know how to do detective work and that's why you've never solved any of these cases.
This is
All right.
us.
Let's go to
Who's never
Poisson.
done any
With
detective
this new
work
lead
and
in
just
mind,
started.
we'll get to the
We
bottom
played
of my
Ace
father's
Attorney.
case
That
for
means
sure.
something. Ace Attorney does not mean anything.
Yeah,
No, it
we're
doesn't.
gonna make progress for sure this time.
Never reason.
Do you want to go with me now? Or do you want to head over by yourself later?
Again, the option to teleport to the next quest point or leave and go do something.
Yeah.
It's a very interesting thing that they've only just started
Great.
doing in like
Let's go then.
Fontaine. Of
But
like,
it's
do we
important,
want
yeah.
to go with you now or do we want to wait until later? It's like, oh, let's go now. And it fades to black and it teleports me to the next quest thing.
You mean it does that with the teleport sound?
Wow. And now I'm in a completely different location. Where am I on the map? I am all the way over here.
Good thing we teleport.
Yeah. It's just a boat underground.
Whoa, what a huge ship! Why would a ship be anchored at a place like this?
Thank you, Paimon.
There's no need to be so surprised. While it may look like a ship, it's actually Spina di Rosula's headquarters.
That's why you have the ship wheels. And, you know, the anchor thing. And stuff.
Pirate?
You're not pirates. We've dealt with actual pirates, but
My father was the one who asked for it to
sailing
be built
stuff,
like
I guess,
this.
Navy.
Perhaps our taste in exterior design is the only thing we occasionally had in common. A gigantic and glamorous ship embodies discovery, opportunity, ambition, and conquest. It symbolizes Spina di Rosula's bright and limitless future.
I'm starting to think I get why you like
I
it.
thought you were bluffing when you said Spina di Rosula had a glorious past.
You
I
know.
was confused why a group with such a history would live in the sewers.
But I didn't want to say it at the time.
But now that Paimon has seen this ship for herself, she's been convinced.
You used to be loaded.
Well, Poisson is where Spina di Rosula began, after all. It's our main base, our home.
And we just get to run onto the ship. No.
Oh no.
It's fine. It's fine. There's a bridge down here to go back up to the ship
Because
because
they knew someone would fall.
fall off these stupid winding bridges.
You're gonna get burned.
There we go, up and into the ship. Okay, okay. I feel like this ship is not actually functional as a ship, but also would be very funny if it ends up functioning as a functional ship.
What do you...
I mean, like if there's a flooding situation, it's like,
Malou,
ta-da, we have a boat.
Apologies for the
We
wait,
came
Demoiselle,
prepared with a
and
giant
our
boat.
most important
They flooded
partners.
the hideout with the melty water.
Oh no.
You said before that you still had some business at the court. What brings you back to Poisson so quickly?
We have another lead.
About that, it's because my partner here reminded me of something really important. You see, what if my father's case had something to do with water from the primordial sea? You still remember, right, Malus? On that night, it was raining?
Yeah, so he was there. Well, not there, but he was a...
Yes, the case was quite similar to that of Mr. Linney's. Both were what you'd call impossible murders.
Could you tell us a bit more about what happened before?
Yeah, of course. Many years ago, something
Oh,
called
now I
synth
wrote
began
it
to
down.
gain popularity in Poisson. At a glance, it was a kind of drink that could excite your mood and produce many pleasant hallucinations.
Because it had some of the magic water in it. That's literally what we just learned in the other court case, was that they were drug dealers selling the drug in diluted water to get people high. But at stronger doses, it, incinerated them.
Wait! Didn't that guard guy who
Drugs,
turned
kids.
into water
Don't do
also
'em.
mention that the
They'll get
primordial water can
incinerated.
be used to produce
Not
some
incinerated.
kind of
You'll
potion?
just turn into. You'll be liquidated. Liquefaction.
Your
Yes, he
company
did.
and your assets will be
Considering what we know
destroyed.
now,
Then you'll
it's
know
almost
you
certain
shouldn't
that
have done
synth
drugs.
was created using water from the primordial sea. If you drink synth for an extended amount of time, you'll suffer many side effects, such as losing the ability to focus or control your emotions.
Let me
The
guess.
ability to focus.
Your dad's friend was a drunk.
And if you were to stop drinking it completely, you'll experience flashes of paranoia and anxiety while lacking energy to do anything. It's
Wow.
an extremely dangerous substance.
No way. Don't do drugs, kids.
Don't do drugs.
Remember, don't do
As he
drugs.
was Puissant,
Remember,
my
drugs
father
are
was
bad
compelled
and
to put
not
a stop to
fun, and
synth
they kill
abuse
you.
and called for a complete ban of it.
Boss's uncompromising attitude incurred the
Also,
synth
no
vendor's
one
wrath.
in this
But no matter
situation
how
is
much they
used to
threatened or
drugs
bribed
in
him,
that
he refused
Yeah.
to yield.
Because he's like, no more drugs, I'm banning it. And then the drug dealers went to the guy who said no more drugs and said, hey, let us sell our drugs. We're telling you, man, you better let us sell drugs. It's like, that is not what the drug dealer would do. They would just keep selling the drugs
Yeah.
under the table.
People would keep buying the drugs.
Under the table.
Not only that, Boss became determined to find the mastermind behind the synth operation and put an end to the problem once and for all.
Yeah, and that mastermind ended up being also the mastermind of the missing girls incident. And so he was getting too close to two of this guy's pies. And the guy was like, you know what? I'm just going to kill this guy.
Yeah.
I'm just going to blame him for murder.
But the enemy was very cunning. So he could never get anything out of the dealers, all of whom only sold the stuff and weren't privy to the rest of the operation.
Yeah, that's how those sort of operations work.
Recognizing that, my father decided to contact the dealers in secret and cultivate personal relationships with them. Finally, he was able to convince someone to become his informant.
Ooh, a spy on the
The
inside.
man's name was Jacques. He felt greatly ashamed about his work after seeing many families destroyed by synth abuse. That night, my father hosted a banquet at his countryside estate. He planned to meet up and exchange information with Jacques over some food. But then, we heard 2 gunshots from the courtyard.
Guns.
We raced to the scene and found my father, still holding a gun, and Jacques, who was already dead on the ground.
So yeah, 2 gunshots would be because the guy shot Jacques because Jacques was gonna leak information, and so they shut up the leak by killing him. And then her dad, seeing the dude just shoot his friend, shot that guy, but that guy dissolved into water, and so there was no second person around. And, but Jacques was still dead on the ground because he was just shot with a normal bullet.
How did that happen? Aren't they on the same side?
Yeah, that's
They
the whole
updated
point.
The autopsy report.
We updated the autopsy report.
There was
Just like
2
Lenny's
shots,
case,
but
doesn't
only
it?
one.
In both
wound.
cases,
One bullet
the culprit
wound.
seemed
Crazy.
but neither appeared to have
Phoenix
any
Wright,
motive
that is
at all.
a Phoenix Wright thing. There were 2 gunshots, but only one wound. How did this happen?
Well, you could say that they both shot at each other and one missed and the other didn't.
What if the?
But the other guy wasn't holding a
yeah, so you have to
gun.
hold a gun.
If the body wasn't holding a gun, then how did the first gun set off 2 shots at the same
Why
time?
were there 2 shots? I think that's actually the thing from one of the cases. Is there are 2 shots, but it makes no sense because the victim wasn't moving. So why would they need to shoot twice?
Yeah. Yeah, there was like 2 bullet holes in
Yeah, there
the
was
wall.
one in like a screen
Yeah.
or whatever.
Spoiler, someone in Genshin probably played Ace Attorney and was like, oh, that's a cool idea for a
And then they were
murder
Chinese,
plot.
like, hey, that's a cool idea. Let's take that. I made this.
Hey, look, guys, a murder mystery.
Back on it, though, I now believe the most important clue was something we all overlooked at the time. There were pieces of clothing left at the scene.
No way. almost like a person lost all their clothing, or we lost a person. Someone who got dissolved.
It's all thanks to you that I made the connection now. Back then, we all just thought they were some costumes that Jacques used to disguise himself at the banquet.
Nope.
But, considering it now, it's almost certain that they belong to a third person at the scene. With one extra person, we'll also need to reconsider why the 2 shots were fired.
Why did you think there was 2 shots to begin with? The third
You're
person
right.
was to
We
blame.
still don't know what happened. But my intuition tells me that we're on the right track to figuring it all out.
I mean, it's very easy to put together what
I'm
happened.
finally headed towards the truth.
Jacques was an empathetic man who was infinitely remorseful for his past actions.
Let's find that truth.
It's
before you're
unlikely
dead.
that he turned on Boss with 0 warning.
Yeah, we're a little too on the nose right now, figuring something
I
out.
think this third person is
Good thing
probably
we're
the
immune
key
to the water
full
thing.
truth.
We are immune to the water. She is not.
Yeah.
And I feel like she's a character you can unlock at some point.
She's not released yet, so it would be awkward if she died in the story
That would
before
suck.
they released her as a character. Me remembers how that happened to the La Senora. She has a boss fight and she gets killed by the Raiden Shogun afterwards, and everyone was really upset because they wanted her released as a playable character. And they didn't
Okay, but
get
they
her.
weren't planned to be released as a character.
No. It was that all of the other ones have been. All the other bosses that are humans.
Of course.
Because it's Childe, it's the Raiden Shogun, it's Scaramucci, the Wanderer. And so it's like they've all gotten released as playable characters after their fights. Senora's the only one that dies at the end of her fight.
On
Great.
that note, however, even though this will not please you, demoiselle, as you're and your father's butler, I must still offer a
Yeah,
word
as
of
your father,
warning.
yeah, as the butler. Offer a word of warning.
Our opponent is insidious and cruel. They are extremely difficult to deal with, and Boss has already lost his
I
life
swear
trying to
you
bring
don't
them
want
to
me letting
justice.
on.
Yeah.
By giving a warning like this of,
Even though
hey,
Spina di
I know you're
Rosula has
close,
lost most of its
but you
former
should back
glory,
off.
Poisson
Yeah.
has welcomed a new time of peace, and we have been allowed to live out our lives.
Yeah. Well, he's like, hey, if you poke this bear, we're at peace right now, but we won't be if you poke this bear of whatever this mafia is.
There is no need to follow your father's path. It would be both wise and in line with
you
Boss's
know
wishes.
something.
Yeah, you want us to drop the
Give up on the
case?
case.
The case
Now.
that led to my dad's murder? Yeah.
Now you want us to drop the case. You weren't like this before, but now you're like, you should stop.
Yeah, you were okay with us researching the missing girls case this whole time. Up
But
until
not-
the point where we're getting close to
Now
learning
we're
about the
getting progress
dad's
on your
murder.
Dad's murder, and that's not okay. You
If
need to
that's
stop and
indeed what
slow
he
down.
wished for, then he
Wouldn't
should have
want
told
something
me
to
that
happen to
himself.
you.
Was I not the closest
If that's
person
what
to
he
him?
wanted, then he should have
And
told
yet
me.
I was the one most kept in the dark.
He's dead.
He should have told me he didn't want me solving these cases after his death. If he ever died.
What was the point of him
From
dying without
working
sharing
on these
any of the
cases,
secrets he
giving
knew?
him all that
Did
time
he
to tell me
manage to
not to look
protect
into them.
anything in the end?
He's trying to protect you in the end, I feel like, is how this is going. Is that the whole point is your dad was trying to protect you from this situation.
Synth is still here. Callas the Unfaithful is still his epithet. And Spina di Rosula is barely getting by. Nothing has changed. Did he think I'd just accept his meaningless death and live out my life just as meaninglessly? I've never accepted that. Ever. Not since that day, and certainly not now. I want to find out the real answer for everyone's sake. For the missing girls, for the victims, and for myself.
Yeah, I don't know how to tell you the missing girls are not gonna be found.
Well, we know, but we can't say murdered girls. That sounds a lot worse.
But the victims. We go on to say the victims. It's like, yeah, they're the victims because they've been murdered.
But her father's not one of the victims.
But it's also just that we're putting them as the missing girls. But also, there's also victims involved. like,
Navia.
they're not missing. We know where they are.
They're in the salty fountain.
They're in the water. Maybe we shouldn't drink that.
This is indeed the best moment to act. Your partner appears to be quite reliable, and more importantly, Demoiselle.
Oh, so now you're on our side of doing
you're
this.
also ready to take this on.
Now that you're like, oh, okay, I guess you're going through with this. I think you're ready.
So you
This
do
is
know
definitely
something
the
else,
best
Miss.
moment to act.
Yes, I do. In fact, even before that banquet, Boss already knew of the connection between Synth and the serial disappearances case.
But you're only just now telling us
But
this.
what drove all the tensions to the boiling point was the revelation that you, Demoiselle, had been selected as the next target to disappear.
And that is why he went so hard into finding the boss. Because it's like, I'm not gonna let my daughter be assassinated. But also they've kept trying since. Because we just drank
Yeah.
the tea that she was supposed to drink.
Yep.
Boss also didn't tell you that he
Of rare
had been
illness.
diagnosed with a rare illness. The doctors told him that he had no more than 5 years left to live.
What sort of soap opera nonsense is this?
Wait, did the father just learn that he had cancer?
Basically, I'm guessing.
Great!
Before he decided, now I'm gonna fight to the death because I can't win this case. Well, I'm gonna die anyway, but I'm not gonna let my daughter die.
And the serial disappearances case caused him great anxiety.
Nah.
5 years was nowhere near enough time to resolve this long-standing conflict. But once he passed away, all the danger would pass on to you.
So yeah, if he was already sick with the cancer-like illness, he was not gonna win that duel.
Oh, yeah.
But he also wouldn't have survived going to jail. And if you lose the duel, you're basically assumed guilty.
Yeah.
It's sort of like if you lose the duel but don't die, you're just charged with whatever the guilty.
Because you
Plea
wouldn't
would
go
be-
to court over it. but
Yeah.
You would duel over it.
Yeah.
Knowing all of this, he decided to use one
what happens
final
if you
intimidation
murder the other
tactic
person?
before his death. He claimed
Are
to
you
have
then
already
charged
gotten
for
his
murder
hands
and
on
have to
some
duel
key
someone else?
incriminating evidence
No.
for the other side.
That's the whole
And
point. Is
even
it's
told
like
some
both
members of
sides
Spina di
consent to the duel
Rosula
to the
about
death
the
part.
details.
Yeah, I don't think that's true. Evidently, that is not the case.
Well, that is the case. The champions are the best of what they do, and so they're like, yeah, if I die, I wasn't the best, and I'm supposed to be the best at what I do. Of not dying and killing the other person. The other person's like, I need to prove that I'm innocent.
I need to not die.
That too. But also, apparently, he gave some incriminating evidence to, members, and then, we still
But as
haven't heard
long
about
as
it
you
until
remain
now.
safe,
Well,
he would
we
not
learned
share
about it
the
before.
evidence with the public.
Oh, as long as she was safe. It was
If
blackmail.
something were to happen to you, then he and all those he told would immediately expose all they knew about Synth and the disappeared victims.
But then, he died. So,
Right. So nobody would be able to get off scot-free.
As we've seen, Boss's tactic has worked. Even though Boss has been gone for a long time, the other side has not tried to take Demoiselle's life.
until last night.
No, I don't believe it. He never appeared to look sick to me.
I mean, he still had 5 more years
Cancer
before.
is kind of an invisible illness.
Until you get to, the last few years.
Yeah.
Or months. Sometimes it doesn't
Yeah.
until...
No father wants
Stage
their daughter to
4
see
and
them
all
looking
that.
haggard, especially someone as proud as Boss. To him, dying in a duel and suffering lasting dishonor as the unfaithful was still far preferable than losing face in front of his daughter.
Really? Really?
So he chose to die in silence, so that he could protect me.
I'm afraid you're not understanding
guilt.
this
Have fun with
correctly,
that.
Demoiselle. What Boss wanted to hand to you was not a parasol, but a sword.
Because, here's the evidence that, we've been looking for the last 3
The
years.
boss's spirit could hear you telling
Good thing he
me
just has
that you
it
want
now.
to find the answer for the sake of everyone involved. I'm sure he'd be extremely proud.
That fool.
Is he gonna turn into
Couldn't he
water?
have just given it to me
Yeah,
straight?
well, he gives the answer. Like, how many others were at this meeting? Because he said multiple members were at this meeting. How many of them are already murdered? And slowly been killed off one by one because they don't work for the company anymore.
He might have set up everything precisely because he never thought I'd be able to understand him. Is
Sure.
that the amount of confidence he had in me? And what if I was never able to make it to where I am now?
He gave you the choice to live how you want.
I suppose that's true. With the way he'd set
suppose
things
you're
up,
right,
if
main
I had wanted,
character.
I could have just lived out my life without a care in the world. But thankfully, he rarely talked to me about complex matters, and thus understood little of me as a person.
But you were also the closest to
case,
him? I have so
he
many
really
questions.
didn't need to give me an easy way out. Malus, what was the key evidence that he shared with you?
And then he died.
It's the location where synth is produced. Essentially, it's the enemy's headquarters. When he
Ooh.
was threatening the enemy, boss didn't share the specifics of the incriminating evidence he found. But if you want to use it against the enemy, you'll still have to take several things into consideration.
Why? If we know where the place is, can't we just go storming in?
Most people here are made of water.
Yeah. I hate to tell you, Paimon, everyone is made of water. But specifically water that reacts to this
You
magic
mustn't
water.
forget that we're fighting against a mysterious and dangerous organization that's been in operation for decades.
You mean the Fatui. You mean the Fatui, don't you? You know, they did this last time. They made a delusions factory, and it made people in Inazuma have fake visions. And so they had the elements, and they could be strong fighters until they died of old age, like 2 weeks later. Because it just drained their life energy.
Wonderful.
And it, like, killed our best friend NPC, and we were really upset about it. And so we went to the secret forge where they were making these delusions, and we, like, burned the place to the ground.
Sounds wonderful.
It was a fun
Good
time in
job.
Inazuma. And so that sounds like what this is we're gonna find another Fatui factory where they're making drugs.
And we're gonna kill Magician Man for being a part of it.
Whoops. It's like, darn it, man. You said you guys weren't doing anything evil, but now you're making
There's
the
no
murder
telling
water.
what might be lying in wait at their headquarters. We also have no idea what kind of evidence we may be able to find inside, nor what people we may be able to capture. But a single visit to their headquarters would be tantamount to a formal declaration of war.
You think?
The
Good,
worst
great,
case
let's
would
kill
be
'em.
that we leave empty-handed, but also open ourselves up to full retaliation.
I mean, if we go in with the cops, it's very hard to leave empty-handed when the cops are standing there staring at a drug operation.
Yeah, unless you melt all the cops with the drugs.
Yeah, that's also the thing, is like, I don't think we can leave empty-handed because I don't think we'll leave.
We will leave. You will not.
Yeah, that's worst case scenario. And then they'll retaliate against all the civilians we have hanging out near our boat.
Then, in that case, why not work with the Fontaine authorities?
Yeah.
Well, you saw one of them dissolve during Mr. Linney's case. We have no idea just how thoroughly they may have been infiltrated.
We can't trust the cops.
Oh,
Don't trust the
of course.
cops. They may be spies.
That's true. Seems my father really had no
Don't
choice.
tell anyone else about our conversation. They could all be spies. But me, you can trust me, who has all this information I never told you.
Conveniently.
Things are different now. It should
And
be
me,
a
who was
lot
telling you to
easier
go in
prove the other
alone.
side's guilt, now that we've connected
not
things with
backup.
the disappearances case.
Yeah. This is
You
a
sound
great
like you put a lot
plan.
of thought into this, Malus.
I am the butler, after all. I live but to serve the boss and Demoiselle's will.
Oh, do you
I've
now?
always been willing to take on any kind of risk for your
No, you're
sake.
not.
But
You just know you'll
considering
be
my
alright if
relative
you
lack of
lure us into a
ability,
trap.
I've spent my time keeping secrets, performing basic investigations, and waiting for the right time to come.
Like, he's supposed to be the Alfred, and so we're supposed to trust him with the information he's bringing forward.
But at the same time, no.
We don't trust the Alfred. That's sort of funny.
Thank you for all of that, Malus. Have you discovered anything new in the past few years?
Let me think. One conclusion I came to was that the enemy must be quite familiar with Spina di Rosula, or at least have an informant planted here.
An informant that might or might not be me.
When I announced orders to the organization's members on Demoiselle's behalf, I used to deliberately keep a few people in the dark and observe the reactions of the synth vendors. If the vendors didn't change their plans, then the individuals informed of our orders must be innocent. If the vendors packed up and fled, however, then someone must have given them the news.
You were playing the game we were playing the other night. Of giving them two choices and being able to try and tell if they were bad guys or not. I'm not gonna actually say the name of the game on stream because that feels like a bad thing to say. Well, no, I guess not.
I'm trying to remember which game you're talking about.
How to Kill Hitler or whatever.
Oh,
That's-
Secret Hitler.
Secret Hitler.
It's Among Us.
Among
It is
Us.
tabletop Among Us.
But it's like you could give a good card and a bad card, and depending on which one they played, it would tell you if they were a good guy or a bad guy in disguise. And that's basically what he did. Is because he gave them the information, or he didn't. And if the drug dealers got away, that means that the information he gave got to the drug dealers.
That's how you do it.
After several rounds of testing and investigative tracing, I've narrowed the suspect list down to 3 people.
You've been doing this all behind the scenes without us
The
knowing.
first
Convenient
is
that he
Florent,
knows so much
Spina di
behind the
Rosula's
scenes, never
senior
told us.
advisor.
Oh, a senior advisor.
Florent?
Yes, surprising, isn't it? He was one of the people Boss trusted the most, which also means that he was someone who understood Boss really well.
Like you.
Thanks to
I mean,
his
what?
position within Boss's innermost circle, he always knew our upcoming plans and could thus avoid capture this whole time. There's someone else like him too. Marcel, the head of Confrérie of Cabrières.
See, that's the thing, is he's just pointing at all of the other heads and being like, don't trust the other leaders of our company.
Yeah.
All of them might be spies.
Uncle Marcel.
You can only trust me, the butler.
It's a guild in Poisson. The Boss helped it to grow to its current size and prominence. In the beginning, they were only reselling some daily goods, but now they're one of the richest guilds around, with a lot of business connections in the city.
So they're salespeople, but not the drug people. But they probably have connections with the drug people that are also selling things.
So, they're like a sister organization of Spina di Rosula?
Yes, you can say that. When we were fighting against the synth dealers, they provided us with plenty of support.
Because they had the information. Because they were working with the dealers.
It's a bit difficult to imagine someone using their own money to hunt down themselves.
The final suspect is Thierry, the man responsible for coordinating information between Spina di Rosula and the guards.
Also, that is some French spelling right there. Did that not sound like Terry? It's Thierry.
That's Thierry. Okay.
I'm like, that is close to Terry, but there are a few extra letters in here.
Although the guards mostly leave us to our own devices, there are still many activities we have to report to the local authorities.
You know, so that everything is definitely not illegal and definitely not a crime.
Since Thierry is always in the know about our
Yeah,
current
it's just Terry.
activities, he could theoretically always plan one step ahead.
No, it's China. It's not Terry. It's slightly different.
I see. These are all people who I communicate with quite regularly.
crazy.
Think that the enemy we've been fighting against has been right next to me all along, among those I trust the most.
Puts a bunch of arrows at the
Almost
butler.
too hard to believe.
Yeah.
Sitting right next to me all along. The one I trusted most.
If you want to investigate them, please take every precaution to not alert the quarry. Judging from our experience, the enemy is extremely cautious.
Of course. And thank you, Malus. You've provided us with a lot of great information.
Thanks, buddy.
For telling us this all now.
You're too kind, my lady. I'm just doing my duty. And
Oh,
before
you
I
sure
forget,
are.
proving Boss's innocence would also mean clearing him of blame in Jacques' death.
Well, yes.
After that incident, Jacques' wife and daughter were taken into the Spina's care. They still live in Poisson today.
Well, yeah. We sort of feel bad that the informant got killed trying to inform us about stuff. We're sort of responsible for his wife and kid.
If it might help, you could
Yeah.
also pay them a visit. I can make the necessary arrangements.
Aw, thank you so much, Malus. You really are the best.
A new case awaits, my dear partner. I hope we can work together to uncover the truth and end this case once and for all.
Oh no. Evidence, case, file, records. Here
Good,
we
we'll go to court.
Wait, we're gonna need these for a minute. Why would we ever need them? We're not going to go. We're gonna need these.
We, in particular, are going to need these.
We're gonna be in a courtroom again. Spoilers.
For ourselves, spoilers. And she
Also,
is not
this
gonna be there,
one
spoilers.
paragraph is what the beginning half of this was talking about, was the 2 gunshots and the murder scene. We should have gotten a second page of who's suspicious, but you know, we'll probably get information once we talk to them about how much we don't trust them.
Yeah. It was you. What was me?
So we're
It's
gonna
not them. It was you.
we're
If you
gonna
settle
find the
that,
person eventually.
Please excuse me and enjoy your conversation at your leisure.
Thank you for arranging everything for us, Malus. Excuse me, miss. Do you need anything from us?
Valid, kid, valid.
Hey, Navia's all quiet. This isn't like her at all.
Let's leave her to deal with it on her own and not bother her for now.
I'm sorry that I only came to visit after all this time. After what happened, I didn't know how I was supposed to face the two of you.
But here we are.
Ah, if it's about that, there's no need to apologize. After my husband died, Spina di Rosula sent us a lot of mora and support. I understood your guilt and apology to be genuine.
You know, because you sent us money.
But aren't all of those things nothing compared to the loss of Jacques?
I mean, sure.
I can understand the kind of pain that comes with losing a father so needlessly.
Because I also lost my dad to this situation,
You don't understand at all.
I didn't know how to face you.
said the small
Because I
child.
didn't know what I could possibly
How could
bring
you
as a
possibly
consolation
know
gift.
what it's like? Because my dad's dead.
My dad also died because of this crime situation.
I know only the full truth could bring closure to you. And to all of us.
And so I'm here today to tell you we have new information, but we still don't know who did it.
Glad you came here to tell us this.
I'm sorry. I appreciate the sentiment, but you don't have to carry all that guilt.
You're just a kid who was definitely not involved in any of this when it
On
happened.
the matter regarding my husband,
True.
my daughter and I have more or less found our answer already.
That he got offed because he was a drug dealer. And we sort of knew he was a drug dealer.
Would you mind sharing it with me? I really can't believe that my father could ever bring himself to shoot Jacques. I always knew that my husband's money was earned through others' suffering. He told me countless times that if he could turn back the clock, he would never go into the synth business again. He had many regrets, and felt that he took the idea of providing for his family too literally. For the longest time, he thought Mora was everything. So when Mr. Callas came to him with a proposal, he accepted it almost immediately. He tried to be as careful as he could, but even so, he was still found out by the higher-ups.
Yeah, they found out it off him.
About his betrayal?
Papa didn't say that exactly, but Papa did tell me that I should never be ungrateful.
Before he left that day, he told me that he had no choice. It was only later that I realized it was his final farewell to the two of us.
Someone orders Jacques to take out Callas, who's her dad.
I don't know that for sure, but you could say that's the conclusion I eventually came to.
Was that he was being blackmailed into shooting, and then the dad shot in self-defense.
Which is why I'm the one who should feel guilty. Callas had always taken great care of us, both when he was still alive and after he passed away. Even if he fired the shot that killed my husband, it was likely in self-defense. It is impossible for me to hate him for what he had done.
But Mama, why is Papa still the bad guy if he did the right thing? Papa always wanted to be a good man, so why did he have to do a bad thing in the end?
I don't like the ending of this story where Papa did a bad thing.
And then died.
Things
for it.
aren't always as they seem. You still feel like your Papa was a good man, right?
Yeah, Papa was a really good man. The best in the whole world.
But also a drug dealer. Important to remember that part. That part was not an accident or unintentional.
And you should hold on to that. If a good man had to do a bad thing, then he must have had his reasons.
And his reason was he didn't do it.
Regardless of whether he left you a parasol or a sword.
Ugh.
He must have done so to give you a better life.
Now I am working through my own issues with my own dad.
Oh,
Thank you for everything you've told me. I will definitely find the truth.
Also, her
The current
bangs
state
are
of things
glitching into
is
her
not
boobs.
something I'm willing to just sit back and accept.
Don't look at it. It's fine.
It's like, this is supposed to be a playable character model, and her hair is glitching into another part of her.
Thank you. I'm very grateful.
That is
for
always
this.
gonna be there. It's not like those are gonna go away.
No.
Even though your personality is quite different from your father's, your determination when you speak is really similar. You really think so? That's the first time anyone said that to me.
But she said.
That when you're confident, you sound like your father,
Oh.
even though your personality and attitude is different from his when it comes to dealing with the situation.
are you okay, Navia?
I'm fine. Don't worry. Let's investigate the 3 suspects next. Florence should be
Or
nearby.
not the button.
And we should be able to find Thierry and Uncle Marcel in the
Totally
city.
not the button.
I'll get myself together on the way. So please don't worry.
You know, walking across this bridge is enough time for me to collect myself.
No, it's not.
Okay, we're here. You better be ready to interrogate a man.
Greetings, boss.
What'd you
How
do
may I
it?
be of assistance today?
How may I be of assistance today? Don't blow it, don't blow it. Immediately blows
I'm
it.
sure you've heard about what happened at the Opera House. Someone got turned into water right in front of us.
Y'all are blowing it immediately. Okay.
Yeah, I've heard. With something that dramatic, I'm sure journalists will milk it for all it's worth. And it'll be all the talk for the next several weeks.
It also reminded me, on the day that the incident happened with my father, it was raining outside, and we found some clothes left at the scene. After my partner here put the dots together for me, I feel like we should try to reopen his case.
Okay, but why are we telling
Can you
this
do me a
guy?
favor and try to recall what happened that night?
Let me think. Mr. Callas was feeling pretty upbeat that day. So he was drinking and bantering away with us at the table.
Contradicted by the other guy's cover-up story.
Yeah, he's like, he was drinking, and he was upbeat. It's like, he wouldn't have been if it was the night he was planning to go against the big bads and reveal what he had and get information from Jacques. He definitely wouldn't have been drinking, because that was the whole thing, was they were spiking the drinks.
After that,
Yeah.
he told us that he wanted to go get some fresh air. So we let him go without thinking much of it. Who knew that we would hear 2 gunshots ring out right after? My first reaction was that Mr. Callas's life was in danger. So I grabbed my holster and made a mad dash toward the scene.
Everyone just has
When
guns.
I got there,
That's
it was
shocking,
already
considering
too
that
late.
No one should really have guns.
Mr. Callas was standing over a dead body with a gun in his hands.
No,
All
did
we
have
could
a
do
gun.
was look back
Good.
and forth at each other.
That
not
makes
knowing
it
what
so
to
much
say.
easier for us.
No, it was the dad was standing
I know,
over the dead
that's
body with a
why
gun.
I'm being sarcastic.
Okay.
Being very sarcastic.
I thought
It
you
does
were
not
saying-
make it easier for us.
To say he was innocent.
So you also remember 2 gunshots then?
You know, that's very important because
Indeed. The guard said that the first shot didn't hit anyone, while
Of
the
course.
second killed Jacques. But I've never really bought that explanation.
No kidding.
why? Where's the second one go?
Reason being, Mr. Callas had left his gun on the table. I even made sure to confirm that before running to the scene.
So wait. Okay, how was there 2 shots then if there wasn't 2 guns? There was only 1 gun that he had
Shot
picked
twice.
up.
But according to the guards, that doesn't mean he couldn't have had other guns on his person. About the clothes left
That
at the
doesn't
scene that
make
you
any
mentioned.
sense, though.
Do you think there was a third person there who was turned into water?
It's very possible there was a 3rd person there, but also, yeah, he could have had another gun on his person, but if it's like his personal holster sort of thing, because these are like mob boss sort of people,
Yeah.
he wouldn't leave, he would leave that at, if he was leaving at the table, he wouldn't have a secret second gun.
Yeah, because that is their secret second.
Yeah.
At least from our perspective, my father had no reason to kill. So he would also have no reason to bring an extra gun with him.
Yeah. It's more likely he intentionally left the gun as a sign of like it being a peaceful interaction negotiation thing. Because they'll also do that, is be like, see, no one's bringing their weapons. We're gonna calmly talk about this. And then someone ends up dead.
Maybe someone ends up dead.
The gun he was holding probably belonged to Jacques, or a 3rd person on the scene.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So you're saying Mr. Callas ended up with the gun because he seized it from one of the other guys?
Most likely.
But hold on. If that's what had happened, then why didn't he share the truth with any of us?
Because the guy turned into water.
He didn't even want to face the Oratrice machine, and chose instead to prove his honor in a duel. Did he lose all faith in the courts after seeing someone dissolve right in front of his eyes?
I mean, what would the courts even think in that situation?
About that, Malouse told me a thing or two. So, I think I can understand why he committed to the duel. I'll tell you everything once the whole truth has been revealed.
I understand. Then I'll leave Mr. Callas's honor in your hands, boss. And if I may just say one more thing. The whole Callas the Unfaithful epithet has been a thorn in my side since the day it was invented. Many people have laughed at me for still calling him Mr. Callas, even after so many years have passed. But it was Mr. Callas's trust that allowed me to rise through the ranks of Spina di Rosula and live the life I lead today, no matter what others might say. He'll always be the man I respect the most, and he'll always be my boss.
Don't worry. I will
See?
definitely
And then it's
find the
like,
truth.
huh, maybe this one's not suspicious because this
Yeah.
one
And
really
all
seems
our other
loyal.
comrades at the Spina deserve to know the truth as well.
But he also wasn't in the loop for any of the other information, which means he's not very helpful.
Yeah.
He's probably innocent because he didn't know much of what was going on.
That also means he is not who you're looking for.
Yeah. Oh, good. The cop is just standing in front of the, the ministry place.
Great.
Hey, Thierry, it's me.
Yahoo.
Oh, now, what
brings you here, Miss Navia? I've heard that you made quite the name for yourself at the Opera House.
Oh, so you've got news of that already.
Oh, okay. Hey, I'm also a member of the Guards, you know. The way you make it sound, people would think I was sent off to Poisson because I had done something wrong.
Are you sure there isn't a little bit of truth in that? Under normal circumstances, shouldn't you have been called back to the city already?
He is in the city right now.
I mean, where I work is really up to me.
Well, they
Let's
really
just
did give
say
this guy
I enjoy the ambiance of Poisson. Callas did a
not the
fantastic
evil
job
one.
running the town, building Spina di Rosula from the ground up and clearing many obstructions in my way.
Cleared obstructions in your way, you
It
say.
would be next to impossible for me to find a similarly easy but high-paying job in the city. Anyway, enough chit-chat.
So
Are these
you're
two friends of
open to
yours
bribery is what you're
who
telling
are
me.
here for some formal business?
Yes. These two are my partners. What happened at the Opera House made us realize that Linny's case and my father's may be related. We're trying to reinvestigate the details of my father's old case.
Ah, I get it. You think there might be more to the case now that we know people can be dissolved into water, right? I was also flabbergasted when I first heard of it. If you want to go through the original files from your father's case, I can help you look for them.
That'd be much appreciated. Thank you. Actually, I have another question. Do you have the authority to dispatch Gardamex?
Hypothetically, would you be able to send out the killer robots that tried to kill me?
Of course. Without them, I couldn't possibly handle Poisson on my own. Why do
Yeah,
you
you
ask?
sound evil and you have the
We
robots.
definitely
Okay.
can't use them to forcefully get more evidence for your father's case.
Well, you see, just recently, we were attacked by a horde of unnumbered Gardamex in the city. So, if you hypothetically wanted to do something against me, all you would need to do was get rid
Now
of
you're
the
being
mecha
too
serial
direct.
numbers and
You were being very
send
direct.
them
You're
after
about
me.
to get attacked by a bunch of Gardamex.
Yeah, I'm like, all you needed to do was say, hey, I was hoping you could assign some to me for protection. Someone tried to kill me with Gardamex. Can I get one or two of yours to protect me?
Nah, I have a better idea.
I think you're the one who sent the mechs and wiped off the serial numbers, and I'm gonna accuse you right now. It's like, no, we're supposed to be undercover about this.
No.
Then you think too highly of my abilities. Dispatching mecha is very different from controlling them. If I had to make an analogy, when you order a dish, the chef will make it for you. You can ask the chef to cook, but not to massage your shoulders or carry your baggage.
Okay, that does not explain anything.
If you try to make unreasonable
You
demands,
can
the
order a
chef will
dish,
just
but you
think you're
do
out of your
not
mind and
physically
ignore
make
you
the dish or
completely.
control what goes in
The
it.
same goes for me and my Gardamex. Removing a serial number is also not as easy as you might think. There are a lot of complex steps to it, and it's almost impossible to keep it a secret.
And so those guard mechs would immediately be noticed as not having the serial numbers, is what you're saying. So really, we should be investigating how you guys lost like 50 mechs out of nowhere. Because you can't tell me you don't keep track of how many of these you have made. They're not exactly easy to make.
So I can promise you,
Nope.
those mecha were definitely private units.
Oh, because private units exist. You know, because people can just buy mechs.
They're
course.
certainly not cheap. So whoever their owner is must be super rich, powerful, or both. Now that you mention
Super
it,
rich.
though,
Well, I guess it can't be
being in
the
the synth
butler.
business would
But the
definitely
drug
be
dealers would
profitable enough
definitely
to
have
afford
enough
this.
money in the budget to buy some mechs.
Oh yeah, especially to try and kill the person quickly.
Yeah.
Oh, then you're officially in the clear, Thierry.
Good
No.
thing that we're trusting the guy who we just blatantly accused of the crime.
Yeah.
And his explanation of why he shouldn't be accused of the crime.
Yeah. Why he knows on the spot the answer of why he's not guilty of the crime.
Thank you for the vote of confidence, Navia. Jokes aside, I'd like to wish you all the best with your investigation. I'll be staying in the city for a little while, so just come find me if you need any support from the guards.
Also, we just told the police about our thing. That was a bad plan. The entire thing was don't tell the police, and then we just told the police.
Okay, we did not tell him we were planning to break into a secret drug building facility. We're opening the case, which is public information sort of thing, because the judge also knows because he was looking through the files. Well, that technically wasn't about the dad, but it was still us opening the case again.
Yeah.
So the case stuff wasn't the issue. It was more the issue of, were you there? Are you evil? If you're evil, you have to tell me because I'm asking you.
That's not how it works.
That is not
I am
how
not
it works.
under oath, by the way.
It's like, none of us were under oath in this moment to tell the truth, and only the truth.
And so, therefore, I did not tell the truth.
Whoopsie.
Oops, my bad. Did you want the actual truth?
Who?
Hello. How may I help you? I'm here to see Marcel. Could you please let him know? You can just say Navia's looking for him.
Because I'm like a niece to him, apparently.
Sure. I will let him know right away.
Navia, hello. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm not as young as I used to be, so my legs are giving out a bit.
Yeah,
Oh, it's all right, Uncle Marcel. There's no need to stress.
He was in business with her dad, like, the whole time, so...
I just wanted to talk to you briefly about what happened in the opera house. I'm sure you saw everything too, right?
Yes, I've never seen anything so strange.
Oh, you were at the opera house too?
That's right. I went there with Navia to see the magic show. Who knew it would turn into a whole murder mystery? I also witnessed your marvelous sleuthing work. Quite impressive.
So you went to one of the scenes of the crimes?
Well, he was there for the show and that's why Navia knows to talk to him about it.
Yes, but I mean, it's like, he was there, and therefore in the courtroom when the guy got melted.
Yeah. And he was also there, well, the other one was completely accidental with the guy himself and not any fourth party in the room affecting
To
it.
beat the Hydro Archon at her own game on her own turf.
But
I
yeah,
can already
if he was at
imagine
the
everyone in Fontaine
actual
discussing
court
your
hearing.
exploits over a few glasses of wine.
That's kind of a problem.
Even though supposedly it was like a full house sort of thing, like, because they're basically opera shows, but for the court hearings.
Become the talk of drunkards.
Don't want to be the talk of drunkards. The talk of the town.
Apologies. It's just how Fontaine is as a nation. Everyone loves drama and theatrics.
I guarantee you Ace Paimon has been in the discussion circles.
Uncle Marcel,
The little
you've
floating
also
fairy
noticed
that
other thing,
showed
right?
the Hydro
The fact that
Archon once
humans can
flight.
dissolve in water?
Yes, I was reminded of your father's case right away. Is that what you're investigating now?
Yes.
Exactly. I still don't have much solid proof, but I
There's
can
a
sense
mustache
that the
and
other
glasses.
side
Can't
has
miss
already
it.
begun to act.
Can't miss Paimon.
And what makes you
The glasses
say
are
that?
gone. I wonder if they'll come back though once we
The
get
mustache is gone too.
once we get to another murder scene. They will come back.
We were attacked on Arrhenius by some unnumbered
I think they
Garnets.
made that
And
model
there was
for
also an attempt to
exactly
get me to
one
drink
scene.
water
It
from
wasn't
the
one
primordial
scene. It was
sea.
like us wandering the whole place for a good 30 minutes of cutscene of her just having this taped to her face.
If not for the vigilance of my partner, I probably wouldn't even be here talking to you right now.
Vigilance? It was not vigilance. It was Paimon accidentally drinking the tea.
Oh, you're giving us too much credit.
Oh look,
Wasn't
Paimon
it you
agrees.
who protected us?
Alas, it seems things are heating up again. The peace that Callas sought so dearly will soon become a thing of the past. But rest assured, Navia, Poisson will always remain a safe haven for you. If you're scared, you can always return there. If anyone dares to lay their hands on you there, the Confrérie of Cabrières will use its funds to the last Mora to bring them to justice.
That's
Thank
nice.
you, Uncle Marcel. But I don't intend to go into hiding. I'm going to strike while the iron's hot. Do you have any new thoughts on my father's case?
About that. Sorry, my age is catching up with me.
Darn,
take
he
me a
doesn't
while to
remember
recall my memory.
things.
That's a shame and very inconvenient.
The confrérie was responsible for that banquet, so I was out and about the whole time making sure things were running smoothly. I didn't even have the time to drink with the guests.
Because you were the food host, so, I mean, that makes
Then
sense.
I heard the sound of a gunshot, and the rest was history.
Wait a minute. One gunshot? Why did you only hear one gunshot?
Oh, it's okay. No need to push yourself. We'll ask around some more. See if there are any valuable clues elsewhere.
Okay, but
Sounds
why
good.
did you only hear
Just
one
let me
gunshot?
know if
That's
you ever
suspicious.
need
Everyone
more.
else has said too.
All my wealth
That
comes
is
from
true.
Callas' patronage and support. I'll spend however much it takes to clear his name.
But even if he was there at the murder scene, he still would have known it was two gunshots. Because you can't really be closer to the murder and not hear the second gunshot. Or see the second gunshot go off. Let's go over the clues. Wait, where are we? Are we in a bush right now?
You're just in a bush.
Okay, I'm honestly, are we going inside this build? No. Is it up there? Oh, there's stairs. Okay. I'm like, where is this circle supposed to lead?
We've talked to all three suspects, purely based on their conversations with me.
None of them sounded particularly suspicious.
That's not true.
None of them really stood. I suspect. I hate to tell you, one
I
did.
suppose that's to be expected,
Multiple
though.
did, but one
If
guy,
a simple
one
conversation's
guy
all
cleared
that's
us up.
needed
The
to
other
find them
guy
out,
just
then my father
had
wouldn't have needed to
misinformation.
investigate
Clearly
the
means
case
they
for
know
so
more.
many years.
They would never say something wrong.
They only ever say something wrong when they have more to add to the case. We know how Ace Attorney works. We're gonna objection you, and you're gonna go, and then you're gonna tell us the truth. It's gonna be great.
Anyway, even though we didn't make a breakthrough, let's still compile what we were able to find.
But where should we start?
Jacques'
You're
motive.
right. Flora mentioned that Callas probably only ended up with the gun because of circumstance. That makes sense.
According to Jacques' family members, he already told them that he had been discovered, and that he had no choice before he left home that day. If I had to guess, he probably received an order from the synth boss to kill my father. Had he refused, he and his family's lives would have been forfeit.
So, Jacques fired the first shot?
I wouldn't have fired a shot at all.
And why is that?
He couldn't guarantee his family's safety after killing Callas.
Jacques
'Cause Callas
probably
was the one
already
protecting
knew
his
that he was
family.
just being used as a tool for murder. And once he had completed his mission, he'd be of no more use to his boss.
So, what would make more sense from his perspective would be to turn his back on the order and seek protection from my father.
So it was the third person who derailed. Yes! Yes, it was the third person who came in to off him.
Makes sense. But without evidence, that's still just a theory.
It's a very valid one.
The attack from the Gardamex has been bothering me quite a bit as well. It's obvious that our enemy has become more antsy after the secret of the primordial seawater was revealed.
Do you think he knew, even then, that we'd follow this lead to the end?
Given everything that's happened since, it's quite possible. But who among the three suspects would have the ability to control privately owned Gardamex?
Marcel would have the money.
That's true.
Uncle Marcel? My father did really trust him. And they worked together on a large number of projects. Maybe that's how he got to know Jacques. And with funds from the confrérie, he could also afford a large number of Gardamex.
Yeah.
It's still really hard for me to imagine, though. After all, Uncle Marcel has been around since I was just a child. Also, wouldn't this mean he has been spending a whole lot of mora and energy to fight his own synth business?
Maybe it was someone else. So I had to say someone else. Okay, maybe it was Terry.
Who say? It is possible that he's
I think we're
figured out a
gonna go
way to
through
convert the
all three.
Gardamex for personal use.
Yeah.
Then be like, darn, guess we don't know.
Yeah.
But I didn't feel like
Because
he was
there's no
lying when he
reason
was
for the
talking to us
first
about the
guy
mecha.
to be able to get
I
mechs.
also don't think
Yeah.
he'd be able to keep that kind of tampering under wraps.
Yeah.
Also, it's kind of
Had he
obvious he
actually
didn't know
tampered
enough.
with the mecha,
Yeah.
For
we'd be able
him
to
to
prove it with a
be
simple check of the
a
guard's
person of
inventory.
interest.
Yeah, it was obvious he was at the party just to be at the party and had no idea there was a
Yeah.
meeting happening at the party.
Yep.
And so... And yeah, none of these guys have any ability to do mechas. So it's like, none of them are the big final boss.
If the mecha were taken from the guards, it should be pretty easy to find out when and how that happened.
Maybe it was someone else.
Florent? It is true that he was closest to my father, and thus had the best chance of learning about his dealings with Jacques. But as Spina di Rosula's advisor, his work mostly deals with personnel and security, so he shouldn't have much means when it comes to finances.
Yeah, to buy the mechs.
So you're saying he's too broke to afford a mecha army?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the brutal way to put it, Paimon.
He's a middle class working man, okay?
Middle class being pushed to lower class because of politics.
But he definitely can't afford
Exactly.
a mecha army.
He can't.
Yeah.
And even if he could, I don't think he would be able to dispatch a whole group so quickly. Who could it be?
Well, I got no more options. I think with the searching mark. Here it is.
Who could it be? Who's left?
Irrelevant. None of them. That's the whole problem. Irrelevant.
Marcel again? I don't know.
There's a secret third one.
Oh, we don't have it yet.
But they're making me... Okay, so I just have to pick them all and be told no. Again, even though we already did this.
Only the thing with the Gardamex. Only he could have done the Gardamex.
You know, if you think everything through, Uncle Marcel is a...
Could we be missing other suspects?
Yes.
Malus didn't know about the people turning into water thing when he narrowed it down to these three, did he?
Malus has always been very reliable, and his judgment of others' trustworthiness has been fair and well considered. When he laid out his case for the three, the rationale he gave me made a lot of sense as well.
He's the secret one we haven't thought about yet.
Suspect is knowledgeable about the Spina's
butler.
internal affairs, has the means to dispatch Mecha to assassinate us, and possesses significant intellect and foresight. Even if I don't want to believe it, I'm starting to see how things could all tie back to Uncle Marcel.
He is someone very
We
close.
still have another trump card on top of all the theorizing and speculating.
The projection
Yes.
base.
Malus did say that charging straight in there would be extremely risky, but we don't have any other options right now.
That'll
We need
give us
far
our
more
final
solid
person.
proof before we can hope to go
Final piece
charging
of
in on our enemy.
Navia, here you are. Oh,
You.
I've been looking for you.
Huh? Aren't you the guy from the guards? Did something happen?
Yeah. News came from Irenaeus just after you left. We've got another trial on our hands.
Already?
Wasn't that place built specifically for holding trials? What's so newsworthy about this one?
I know. But they said the person they're putting on trial is a Fatui harbinger called Tartaglia.
Child.
Oh,
Child!
what are you doing?
What did he do now?
What did you do?
What? Is that someone you know?
Someone who has committed war crimes in another nation, but that's not important. He hasn't committed war crimes in this nation yet.
I'm pretty sure because it's a war crime, it's illegal in all nations.
He's summoning the archenemy of an Archon to try and flood the whole city of Liyue Harbor. Really a crime?
Yeah, I think that's called genocide.
And then forcing them to destroy their giant golden flying palace to destroy that monster so it doesn't destroy the city.
Yeah, I think that's called property damage.
causing a lot of property damage is definitely one of Childe's crimes. But yeah, no, he hasn't committed a crime here yet.
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 I think we just learned there is no more yet.
No more yet.
We know him maybe even a little too well.
Yeah, we're not going to be very good at arguing he's never committed a crime ever, Your Honor.
Well, he's
Yeah,
been
we're
accused
kind
of
of the
being the true
prosecutors on
culprit
this
behind
case,
the
if that's
serial
okay.
disappearances case.
Oh no, he's being
It's absurd,
accused
don't you
as the
think?
culprit behind the serial disappearances.
Oh, well,
The true culprit.
That's impossible, because he doesn't exist here before now-ish.
Yeah, before like a week ago. But also, this is the only spoiler I knew, was that he gets accused of this. Was the only thing is like, Child's going to jail. Haha, Child's in trouble again. But also, Child is under 30. I am going to say right now, Tartaglia is not over 30 years old. It is physically impossible for him to have been in charge of these murders for the last 20 years. Because he was 10 and he was living in Snezhnaya in the wilderness up until he was 14 and he fell into the abyss and then joined the army. So it's like, there's no way for him to be the one in charge of the murders for the last 20 years. But they're going to argue that. We're going to go through a whole case, a whole court hearing of trying to defend Childe from this. And not once are we going to bring up that he is under 30 and probably not old enough to have committed the murders.
Wait, how? None of our investigations have had anything to do with him.
How is he the one who's
That's
guilty?
what I thought was strange about it, so I came to tell you the news right away. If the charge against him stands, then it'll be next to impossible to get the guards to support any of our planned investigations.
Because they'll just assume they caught the guy.
Right. Because they'll think they've already found the culprit.
Yup.
Yeah. And it'll be a lot harder then to clear Mr. Callas's name.
I understand. Well, partner, what do you think we should do? We still haven't found any conclusive evidence.
We're gonna run into that court hearing anyway. Let's go.
Well, you know it. We have 7 pieces of evidence.
We're splitting up to look for clues?
Huh? Split up? What do you mean?
You stall.
You go stall at the court hearing. Bring up every autopsy report in existence for the last 20 cases.
You change them. It's important.
For the next 20 years worth of cases. I need you to pull up every single thing on file. And we need to go over all of them. And you're going to need to do them very slowly. Just stall. We're going to go invade another military base.
We've done this before. It's okay.
It's like, I'm confident in my combat abilities. Yeah, I am.
Just as expected of my partner. Since this is a
Then we're
trial
gonna come back
about
with
the
evidence
serial
and be like,
disappearance
hold it!
case, the culprit's
We have the
attention
evidence!
Will be focused on
In our
Aranis,
hands.
leaving
Well, that's
his
a shame.
home
They
base
convicted him while you
wide
were gone.
open.
No.
You're right.
Now this guy we
This
don't
is
care
our
about is
best
in jail.
opportunity.
Yeah,
All
we're
right
like, oh
then,
no,
let's
Child's
do
in
this.
jail,
I'll
where he
sell them at the Opera
belongs.
House and charge Marcel as the true culprit. I won't have any chance of making that charge stick, though, unless we find more evidence. It'll be up to you to make it back in time and hand the decisive
Are you gonna
evidence
give
to
us
me.
a time limit?
I hope
you,
not.
just like you helped us in Lenny's trial.
Demoiselle, please allow us to accompany you.
Yeah,
I'm ready.
good.
Malou, Silver, when did you two get here?
Conveniently in time. How did you guys even hear about this
We
case?
heard that you'll be leaving Poisson and figured that you might require our assistance. It's our hope that your confidence will be bolstered with the two of us by your side.
That's nice.
Thank you so much. Then, let's make haste for Araneus. Paimon, Traveler, I'll see you at the Opera House.
See you
Yep, have fun stalling. But also the problem is she's gonna try and pin it on the uncle guy when we know it's not him. And we're gonna come in with evidence that it's not the uncle guy. And that's just gonna confuse everything more.
And they'll be like, haha, so you didn't have the case. You have one chance to turn this around.
Now that
even though
Navia
it's
has
very
set out for
clearly
Ernie,
not
we
Child.
should also get going. The location has already been marked on the map, so let's head
It's
over.
like we're not here to prove that the other guy did it. We're here to prove that this guy did it.
Yeah, we don't need to find out who the actual criminal is
In this.
in this one. We got others, man. This is only Act 2. Most of these things have like 5 acts.
Oh, that is more than 3.
Yeah, that too. Wait, are you a puzzle? Okay, I'm not dealing with a puzzle right now. I have a mission.
What do you mean? Puzzles are nice and short, right?
Huh.
No,
According to Malusa's info, the synth production base is underwater.
conveniently.
Let's go and
Wow,
try to
it's
find the
underwater?
entrance.
You mean Fontaine people can't easily get to it because it's depth water?
It's not death water. It's just normal water. But also we have a dive mechanic, guys. Look. Look, we have diving. Woo.
We're in water.
We're in water. And I need to open this. Okay. Oh, so I'm just supposed to cut this open? Why though?
One primitive.
Well, it's a chest thing. Okay, there it is. It's like there's supposed to be an entrance somewhere. And this is just a
Finally,
puzzle.
Found it. Huh. So this is the entrance that leads to the synth production base.
Paimon can talk underwater,
Seem out of
proving
the
she doesn't need to
ordinary at all.
breathe to talk.
Wonderful.
We
I'm
do
glad
not.
we have this knowledge in canon.
We cannot escape the Paimon's talking.
You're right. An important place like this is bound to have a ton of protective measures and mechanisms.
Oh, good, she echoes.
We're underwater.
Navia's probably
That's
arguing
totally how
about
underwater
stopping that
sounds.
stuff.
And I'm blah, 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 blah. Meanwhile, in the opera house. Oh no. Oh, ad started. Sorry,
It
people
would
in the
appear that I
ads.
must repeat my question again, Mr. Tartaglia.
Oh no. Here we go.
Do you accept the charge that you are the true culprit behind the serial disappearances case?
Child just in here over and over again being like, no! Why would I ever accept this?
To be perfectly honest, I don't understand your country's complicated court system or the reason why I'm being charged with something I've never even heard of.
Yeah.
It's like, I was just arrested. I don't know what's
I
happening.
am a tourist.
This is, what, he's an ambassador too. So what is it when you charge a crime against a foreign ambassador? That's
Not smart.
not smart, because they'll be not happy.
However, I
Like,
did hear that people
dude,
who have been charged
come on.
can choose to participate in a duel to clear their name. Is that right?
He likes to fight things. And he does not know anything about the case. But he knows he likes to fight things.
And so he'll fight people for it.
It's like, child, no. He also, you weren't here for it. He gave us his hydro vision. He does not have his vision right now.
So that means.
He can't do water powers.
So he just has a sword.
Well, he does bows and knives.
So he has a old gun and a tiny sword.
Yeah, and we know what Claudine has.
A real gun and a real sword.
Yeah! And Electro! The fastest element, man!
Right.
So it's like, child, we need to stall in the courtroom. If you go out there to fight to your death,
You're gonna die.
you're gonna die, and we can't help you.
In which case, as long as I accept the charge, I can have an all-out fight with that champion duelist Clorent, right?
He's like, I'm just here to have a fight with someone.
I've got to admit, that's one of the most enticing offers I've ever received.
Child, you're killing me here.
When I privately sparred with her last time, she was obviously holding back. Real disappointing.
Really? Really? You're like, okay, I'll say I'm guilty just so I can fight that cool lady again and have her try and kill me.
wonderful.
He's very much. That's why he liked our duel and why we duel him every week. Is because we really were fighting to the death and he had to use his super mech form against us.
Hey, don't you understand? You're currently the prime suspect for a major case. This isn't the place for you to be looking for fights.
Yeah, I mean, it would look sort of bad if you gave the guy an out of, oh no, he died. Guess we can't get answers anymore.
Oh? Sounds like the Hydro Archon wants to lecture me on the ways of the Opera House.
I mean, do you know anything about an opera? This is the first time you've been in an opera house. Come on.
Then why don't you duel me too? I'm the kind of student that learns best in the heat of battle.
He's like, can I fight God?
Can I fight the Hydro Archon without my Hydro thing?
That's probably a good thing, so she controls Hydro and probably just stop any of his water attacks from doing anything.
Very true.
But it's just like, dude, stop trying to fight everyone in the room.
But if I win, I'm not guilty. That's not helpful for us.
Alas, it would appear that communication with the defendant is going poorly. We have made very little progress.
Nah. Almost like you don't have a case against him.
In that case, let me explain everything from the very beginning again. The goal of this trial is to determine the culprit behind the serial disappearances case.
And for some reason, we've decided it's you. I'd like to see that evidence, please.
That case had nothing to do with him. You've got the wrong man. Huh? What's going on?
Oh my goodness.
Why
Someone
she's
is trying to
rejecting
be
again?
an offense attorney.
I told you it couldn't be one of the Fatui Harbingers.
Miss Navia, this is the second time you've interrupted the court proceedings. I only tolerated your behavior last time because you were able to provide the court with a key eyewitness.
I mean, this is true. We did find the kidnapped girl because of Navia.
So we proved the girl is in fact not dead.
Or kidnapped.
Yeah, that kind of matters.
Unfortunately, we have no evidence right now. We're just running up yelling.
Yeah.
But that was an exception rather than standard court protocol. I can very well charge you with contempt of court for your interjections.
Contempt of the court. Whoopsie.
Oh, please. Did you ever think I had any respect for this place's pointless theatrics?
Oh, goody. You're making it worse, honey.
We can put the discussion aside for now.
Can we, though?
I'm not here to argue with you. I'm here to charge the true culprit behind the serial disappearances case.
But we don't have any evidence for him, man. You should just be saying, I'm here to be Childe's defense attorney, and Childe, shut your mouth. You're not fighting. We have evidence to prove you are innocent. And then stall like crazy with that evidence.
Yeah.
And if my charges prove true, then Tartaglia here will be proven innocent by default, correct?
Because, someone else is the murderer.
A young lady has charged in and offered to clear my name. How fascinating. Well, I'd gotten half bored to death by all these rules and procedures anyway. So I'll take you up on that offer.
Oh wow, now she's my defense attorney.
So,
I'm
Your
okay
Honor,
with this.
is there nothing else for me to do now?
What? You are
You may take a seat for now in the audience, but that doesn't
In the
mean
audience?
suspicions
In the
against you
audience?
have been lifted.
The other guys had to sit up here. What do you mean he can sit in the audience?
He's still the prime suspect under arrest, and you're just like, sure, go sit in the audience where you can leave whenever you want.
No, whenever he wants. You'll keep a very close eye out. Where did he go?
Where did he go?
And then there's a puddle on the floor, even though he has no idea how that works and could not use it as an escape method. But honestly, that would be kind of smart. Oh man, it'd be a shame if I melted too. Puddle of water. Walks off
Child,
stage.
you are from Snezhnaya. You are not the right race to be able to turn into water.
Now then, Miss Navia, who is the person you would like to charge instead?
We're just gonna roll with this, I guess. With charging some random person in the audience.
Yeah.
We don't have the right person, man. Why are we doing this? I don't want to charge Uncle Marcel.
Marcel, the head of Confrérie of Cabrières.
Dun dun dun.
Huh? What confrérie? Never heard of them in my life.
Ouch.
I've heard of them, but weren't they Spina di Rosula's sister organization?
Oh, is this going to be a friends to enemies type situation?
Please let me remind you, Miss Navia, that charging someone is an incredibly serious matter. Committing to the charge also means taking on the legal responsibilities associated with it.
Because this could be considered deflammatory if not true, because it is one business accusing another business.
Yeah.
And so, in the court of law.
Yeah.
And if the
defamation,
fails,
man.
depending on the
And she
circumstances,
knows it's
you
not true.
may
Well,
also
she
be
doesn't
charged with
go,
the crime of making a
"It's
false
not true," but
accusation.
there's a high chance.
Knowing
Charged
this,
with the crime
do
of
you
making
still
a
wish to
false
charge this
accusation.
man?
Which is defamation, basically, I guess.
Yes.
Well, not
do.
that, but it's like, wait, didn't the Hydro Archon do that? Can we throw her in jail? Can we throw our prosecutor in jail, please?
Like, she's not even the prosecutor this time. She was just sitting in her normal seat in the...
Oh.
She was just in one of the boxes.
Does that mean we'll have an easier time?
We don't even know who the prosecutor is, so yes.
In that case, I declare the charge to be valid. Miss Navia and attorneys, please take your places on the court.
Oh, we got an
Members of the
attorney
guards,
now?
Please contact Mr. Marcel right away so that he may stand trial.
You know, because he's not even here.
Oh, dude.
That's
After
sure.
some time.
Yeah, I love how we're stalling and not letting
Mr.
us go
Marcel,
do the other
you will
thing
not require
that
an
I would like to be
attorney.
doing, which
that
is beating
correct?
people up in a base.
You don't need an attorney, right?
Okay, and we're on the other side because
I still
we're the
haven't figured out
prosecutor.
what's going on.
That makes sense.
we're the prosecutor saying, "Hey, you did this thing."
And we
But-
can't have us on the
But
other
also,
side.
the argument that Marcel does not have an attorney or lawyer,
He's rich enough to have an attorney or lawyer.
I promise you he has one of
I
those.
think an attorney won't be necessary. This is probably just a misunderstanding between me and Navia.
That we're gonna do in the court of law.
This is bad.
This is a bad place to be doing
Very
these
well.
things.
Yeah.
In that case, since both sides have now arrived, Miss Navia, please present your charges.
I'd love to do that if only the person with the charges would come and, have those
I would like to
charges.
take everyone back to 3 years ago.
Oh.
To the case of...
Well, you're gonna
Callas
tell the
the
whole
Unfaithful.
story. Yeah, we're stalling, alright.
We sure are stalling.
Through elucidating what really happened.
But why
in
do
that
we
case,
have to be here to
connect
watch
all
her
the dots for
stalling?
The serial disappearances case.
They're stalling us
From
for playtime.
From playing the actual mission.
Navia, do you really think that I was the one who killed your father? Come on, why would I do that? Callas was my benefactor, and remember both you and I only ran to the scene when we heard the sound of a gun.
There's the loophole. Only one
If that's
gun.
enough to make me a suspect, wouldn't that make everyone at that banquet a suspect as well?
I think there's no point in getting into the specifics right now. The audience doesn't even have the big picture yet. Even I'm struggling to remember some details of that case.
Yeah, maybe we should bring up the two
Exactly
gunshots.
correct, Your Honor. I must refresh everyone's memory about that case before I can explain my charge and reasoning.
I see. In which case, I will recount the findings about that case as originally recorded by Maison Gardiennage.
There we go.
On the day of the murder, Spina di Rosula hosted a large banquet in a countryside estate owned by the Confrérie of Cabrières. During the banquet, all attending guests heard 2 gunshots from the courtyard. When the guests arrived at the scene, they found the primary suspect, Callas, holding a gun, while his acquaintance, Jacques, lay dead from a gunshot wound. The guards' investigation did not recover any other firearms from the scene. As a result, they concluded that the suspect's first shot must have missed, while the second must have taken Jacques' life. The suspect did not dispute this conclusion, and also declined to defend himself in court. Instead, he chose to prove his innocence through a duel. Callas was defeated by champion duelist Clarande in the ensuing duel, and soon succumbed to the injuries. These are the known facts about the case.
Also her dad has an eye patch. I don't know if that's going to be important to the case, but I feel like that's going to be important to the case.
The one with the motive to kill was Jacques, not my father. And even so, Jacques still had no reason to pull the trigger. In truth, the third person shot Jacques first.
and was shot in turn by my father when my father seized the gun from him. After that, the true culprit turned the third person into water, erasing all traces of him from the scene. Thank you for the summary, Your Honor. Of course, the guard's conclusion appeared quite sensible to us at the time. However, we should revisit the case now that we've gained new information about the abilities of water from the primordial sea. The testimony of the victim's family confirms that Jacques had thoughts of assassinating Callas when he set out for the banquet. However, in the end, he reconsidered and instead shared everything with Callas, hoping to seek the latter's protection. Unfortunately for Jacques, the true culprit had already considered this possibility and had sent out another assassin.
Come on, let me do this. Is it this one or this one? Okay.
This assassin first shot Jacques, then turned to shoot Callas, only for Callas to wrestle the gun from him and kill him instead. A pile of clothing was found at the scene. The guards once believed they were used by Jacques as a costume to disguise himself, but now it is clear that the clothes were proof that there was a third person at the scene, and that they were turned into water after committing the murder. Since it was raining that day, the culprit was confident that they could use the rain to wash away all traces of their dissolved accomplice.
And there's
Realizing
how it
this,
really
the true
happened.
culprit caused the hired assassin to dissolve into water, leading everyone to believe Callas was responsible for Jacques' murder. This is the true version of events.
So that's what happened.
No way.
Wait, you're telling me something as dangerous as water from the primordial sea has been used for all these years?
Yes.
What a great theory. It also explains Callas's and Jacques' respective motives. I guess they didn't shoot each other after all.
Mr. Marcel, you are the one being charged with the crime. You should provide a rebuttal if you wish to prove your innocence.
Okay, but none of this accuses him of committing any crime. This just argues that her dad's innocent.
But I think I agree with everything Navia just said. In fact, there was nothing in her speech that directly implicated me.
Then, may I ask some questions? In my opinion, we primarily need to determine two things. One, do you have the evidence to back up your claims?
Okay, but none of these claims are accusing him.
I'm afraid not. At least not at this very moment.
Okay, you don't say that now. You drag it out and then say it.
If you don't have any evidence, you should just go home.
Ugh.
I may not have the evidence with me, but I know where I could go to collect it. If we look up the deserted clothes against a record of people who went missing around the same time, we should be able to find a match. Considering the serial disappearances case, the guards probably kept careful records of all missing persons from around that time, regardless of age or gender.
That makes sense to me. Monsieur Neuvillette, I would consider this to be a reasonable investigative direction.
Why do I feel like Farina's acting a little differently today?
She's playing
Maybe
along.
she's scared of embarrassing herself again?
Alternatively, she's become more diligent after charging an innocent citizen in the last trial.
My second question has to do with the ensuing duel. If the truth is indeed as you described, then why didn't Mr. Callas explain himself in court? If he had testified that a person had been dissolved, he could have at least mounted a defense.
No one would believe that, though.
I thought about this too, and the answer is actually pretty simple. He felt there were things that were more important to him. The dissolving power of water from the primordial sea is an important secret for the true culprit of the serial disappearances case. My father could have exposed it for all to see, but he chose to take it to the grave. At that time, Spina di Rosula was in dire straits, and his reputation had already been shattered. He had no guarantee that going forward with the truth would allow the culprit to be brought to justice. What was certain, however, was that it would paint a gigantic target on my back.
Boss once told me that Demoiselle had already been selected as the next target of the serial disappearances case.
What? If the secret had gotten out, the culprit would have fought an all-out war with Espina right there and then. I wouldn't have been the only one in danger. All of us would have stood to lose our lives. Of course, the guards might eventually figure out the truth of the matter and determine that we were in the right. But what good would that do? How can a hollow verdict protect anyone? Had this opera house ever given my father any kind of confidence in its brand of justice, Spina di Rosula would have had no reason to exist.
Burn.
But by staying silent, we retain the ability to deter our opponents and continue the stalemate. I was able to become Spina di Rosula's president, which made me harder to target, as well as giving me more time to grow and learn. And once I have figured out the truth and stepped up to the challenge, I will do what this opera house cannot, and restore my father's truth and honor back to him.
So, you mean to say, your father intended to die in the duelist's ring?
And he did.
That's right.
Do you have any proof?
Of course. All you need is to ask his opponent, Clarand. I don't need your apology, your guilt, or your support from the shadows. You don't have to do anything for my sake. But since he entrusted his will to you, Clarand, you should tell us the truth about his sacrifice.
So, during the duel, did you believe that Callas was intending to die?
Yes, I did. As a champion duelist, I've fought many battles and taken a countless number of dishonored lives.
Good to know, I guess.
In the line of work, I've seen all kinds of people give their all for the faintest hope to continue living. Some were determined, others passionate, and some even manic and twisted. Just one look and I can tell if a duelist is hoping to live or if they're looking to die. I hereby swear on my name and honor as a champion duelist that Mr. Callas never intended to leave the ring alive.
Since that's your testimony, I have no more questions. It appears there really are good grounds to reopen this case.
I concur. However, Miss Navia, you still have not explained the link between your father's case and the serial disappearances case.
Right? What she said was fascinating, but kind of beside the point.
Kind of has nothing to do with what we're talking about.
Wait, weren't they just talking about the serial disappearances case?
Of course, Your Honor. The two cases are connected via a matter of timing. In my father's case, the culprit intended to kill both Jacques and Callas. As a result, they planned to act after hearing 2 gunshots. And at the end of Linny's trial, the culprit also only dissolved the victim in front of everyone because they realized they were at risk of being identified. The culprit could only time their actions so precisely if they were already at the scene. Coincidentally, Marcel attended both the banquet and the trial.
So that's why you suspected me. Even after hearing your reasoning, I still can't help but find it a little preposterous. I'm used to it, though. You've always been an impulsive and sentimental child, Navia. It's one of your most endearing traits.
No need to appeal to pathos.
I won't try to refute your points one by one, but even if everything you just said was true, can you prove that I was the only person present at both events? On top of that, does a person have to be physically present to control the timing? Can't someone remotely monitor the place?
Ooh.
I don't know what she can say to that.
I know that even with that, You might still think you can reduce the list of suspects with some further investigations, until I'm the only one left on the list. Alas, who won't feel at least a little hurt by an accusation of murder from a girl you see as your own daughter? But if I were to dismiss this completely, you'd also think I'm not being considerate of your feelings. Ah well, let Uncle Marcel teach you another lesson. Do you know what the biggest flaw in your reasoning is?
I suppose you're gonna tell me anyways.
It's timing again.
Ooh.
I'm a businessman by trade. From that standpoint, there's no reason for me to kidnap young women. It's a high-risk action with nothing to gain.
Okay, but the young women weren't kidnapped. They were dissolved into water. You don't have to transport the woman anywhere if she's dead.
In addition, I left my home in Snezhnaya when I was young to come to Poisson and work in some trade. My business only thrived when I received Callas's patronage.
There it is. He's from Snezhnaya too.
But the disappearances began before I ever stepped foot in Fontaine.
Which is the argument Childe has. Was the disappearances started before I was born.
I do apologize, demoiselle. This was my mistake.
Well, I mean, they also happened before Childe. We should just use this argument for Childe too and throw him out too.
No, it's not your fault. I'm sure he had come prepared.
Is there anything else you'd like to say? Would you like to check the date of my first business license against the first known case of the serial disappearances? You can also take a look at my border entry records, or ask my friends and family when I left Snezhnaya for the first time. Could those records and testimonies do something to appease the unspeakable anguish in your heart?
Seems like she got the wrong guy. At this rate, Navia will be convicted for falsely accusing him.
I think you've done a superb job of dissecting your father's feelings as he neared the end of his life. But aren't you going against all of his wishes and expectations right now?
Ooh.
He wished for you to become more rational, collected, and conscientious, instead of dwelling only on your own
we're still in the court case. But this guy, one, is also from Snezhnaya, so basically Fatui. But two, he came here less than 20 years ago, and he has entry permits of when he came into the country that prove it's less than 20 years ago. So he couldn't have started the murder cases.
Yeah.
The disappearances.
That doesn't mean he can't be involved.
He can't be involved, but he didn't start it, which is also the argument again for Childe.
Yeah.
Who is not able to have been here when he was 10.
Yeah.
Once you've learned to be more considerate of others' feelings and to stop rushing headlong into things.
But she's gonna get in trouble because she accused him falsely. Because she doesn't have evidence that it was him.
This isn't just about me, and it never has been.
Even though everyone agrees that the news story for the dad is probably right, of that he didn't kill the guy.
While that the people whose families were destroyed by synth abuse, the people who lost their loved ones to the serial disappearances, and the people
then
who
there's
suffered
pizza and we gotta
tragic
get
ends
food.
due to their sense of justice.
I'm just gonna finish the court hearing then and not do the base, unfortunately.
Many people's images
I don't get to fight
are flashing
robots.
before my eyes. I'm sure some are coming to those of you in the audience as well.
Right, it was a separate stream.
And whose image do you see, Marcel? Is it a man named Vacher?
Dun dun dun! Oh, the forgotten name.
So you do know that name.
Oh, that does make you suspicious, because that was one of the murders.
I'm merely surprised
or witnesses of a murder.
You suddenly say the name of someone I've never even heard of.
You've never heard of this name, and that's why you did that expression. Because that's the expression of, I don't know this person.
I was waiting for you to say that.
Oh, now we're starting.
Oh, we are immediately cutting back to what we're doing. Anyway.
That was a long cutscene if I was able to go start dinner.
It wasn't a cutscene, it was dialogue, and I had to do the solving thing of putting the murder in order.
Anyway,
I did the puzzle thing.
Look, the dungeon we should have started spending.
Dude. Oh, party setup. In case I regret who I brought in here.
Yeah.
I definitely regret not bringing in a healer.
Oh, you need those?
I do. Also, probably shouldn't have Kaya, but then, like, I also want Cryo, so Rosaria. Ooh, she got a knife.
92.
bunch of robots. Levels don't matter.
Hold the line. Shine down.
I mean, them being level 92 means nothing to me. Because that's the max level for us, and so it's like a couple 100 XP books to get one character to level 90 from 80. And so I just get everyone to 80 and call it good.
Is it because of this mechanism in the middle? That guy really prepared a lot of stuff for this place.
Wow. Okay, there's the chest. I'm keeping an eye out because this is a temporary domain. They get 3 chests in here.
Paimon thinks we need to go up, but Paimon doesn't see a way. Let's take a look around. Maybe we'll find a hidden mechanism that'll show us the way up.
You know, in the water.
You know we can swim now.
And that we can also steal abilities from other creatures in the water. And then use those abilities to break walls. Wow. And also there's a statue in here. Okay, but that's not the Hydro Archon. I don't know who it is, it's just someone holding a cup. But... oh, we're gonna drain the water?
Why do all futuristic magic machine places look the same?
I don't know.
Because this just looks like a temple from Survivor.
Oh, Jedi Survivor?
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is definitely older. Oh, how nice of them for opening a door and not making me swim back down and back up.
Away from where we need to go.
Darn, if only there was another room with another orb for me to push.
Now accessible.
Oh wow, enemies.
There is no escape. Motion to
Good, that's chest number 2. I only need one more. Don't know what these machines do. They just...
like that.
yeah, they probably also do different elements or something, I don't know. Yeah, they do. They do ice. I guess there's a counter, who knows.
Shine down.
I just know machines and electric water don't mix. And so I can use those elements.
Insolent.
Yeah, they're really little ones. And then there's a dog one.
Hold the line.
Those dogs are good boys. And so I'm destroying it.
So they die.
They die. Well, that's also the thing, probably why the court thing's dragging out, is because they know dungeons like this mean nothing to me.
Yeah.
It's like, oh no, I'm fighting things. Whatever will I do?
You're confident in your combat abilities.
Almost like I have a bunch of really strong characters.
Now the path is clear. Let's go.
Woo. Because that's the thing. I feel like I can finish the domain part in 20 minutes for pizza.
That's not right. If you're 2/3 the way through, according to your
Yeah.
chest count.
There's my 3rd chest.
Oh look, I think we're at the end of the dungeon.
Yeah. Also crazy that I know that there are 3 chests. Also, there's just robots.
Fancy one. Why would that ever need to be closed?
Don't worry about it. It looks cool when it opens. And
How
for
would
security.
these guys get back over?
They just stand here, they're robots.
Oh.
Illusion shattered. Shiver. Judgment. Torn to oblivion.
This is why that corridor was so long. We had to go through
There
a
is no
dungeon
escape.
first.
Yeah, Yeah, it took us a minute, okay? It took us like 5 whole minutes to do this dungeon.
We have to walk now.
No, it teleports me back to the exit after the end of dungeons. But also, that better not have been the final fight of this domain. That was nothing. Okay, there's more.
Oh wait, there's more.
I hit the cutscene wall.
After all that, we finally made it to the innermost sanctum.
Wow. This looks like a boss fight arena.
Yeah, that water is going the wrong direction.
Though, as expected, the mastermind isn't here.
He's being charged. If we're right, he's being charged.
That's right. Then let's hurry up and find some evidence so we can get back to the opera house and help Navia.
Okay, but how can we prove that the evidence we got is for that specific guy?
Because we're gonna find his fingerprints and our fingerprints.
Miscellaneous things.
What's all this? Aw, it's a bunch of really cute things.
Like
Pink
boxes?
accessories, a hair tie, a necklace, even a makeup box.
all things girls would have.
There's a name to it, you know, because all these things are the things for the murdered girls.
Paimon sees it too, but why are all these
Probably belong to the victims
Yeah.
that dissolved into water.
Huh? You mean the girls from the serial disappearances? They were brought here?
They weren't. They're items. Because we can't be finding the clothes on the ground. That would be evidence. The whole point is that they disappeared without a trace.
They were turned into water.
They were turned into water before they got here.
Things. These names. That means... Oh, this is terrible.
Every one of those chests is a body, but we can't show bodies.
No, one box. You get one. But no, yeah.
Each of those is a body. Bag.
Are we gonna count the chests?
No.
No, I'll count them some other time because we don't really want to know.
Put that in some analysis video.
Someone else's video. By the way, this is how many murdered
This is our death
kids.
count.
This is our it's well beyond that. We've had battlefield fights to the death
Yeah.
before with bodies laying on the ground.
Yeah,
And we were standing there.
We need to update the lists.
Update the lists as if we kept track
As
before
of
now.
4.0.
Here's all the dead bodies.
Callas. Navia's father. Oh, this seems to be an investigation report on him.
Probably related to the case.
Yep. It's about finding someone to assassinate Jacques and
Wow.
Callas because of
Good
a
of them to
Convenient.
just leave this out. This one on the desk.
3 years later.
Why didn't they get rid of it? Who knows?
Why didn't they burn it?
This should prove the existence of the third person, right?
Nah.
We still have not determined the exact content of the key information Callas has passed on to certain members of his organization. The old dog's a real menace to deal with. Even if he abides by the promise he's made to us, he will still have the upper hand. He can act whenever he wants to make our lives miserable. The only option left is to remove him from the picture entirely.
Which, yeah.
I concur. Let's send someone to kill him.
I'm so glad we got these text messages.
We have all the text messages.
All of them saved right here.
Oh, seems like we've got a bunch of correspondence between the higher-ups.
Signed, boss number 1 and evil boss number 2.
True. Because they wouldn't sign them with their name.
Unless it's like Harbinger 11 and we're like, damn it, child. You weren't supposed to be involved. It's like, there's just an 11 beside it and you know.
No, it's not an 11. It's a Roman 2. But they don't know that.
It's like, guys, it's for 2. It's for the second one. It's not for me. It's for my boss who's been in on this. I mean, his boss.
It's dumb, but it's happened before.
And number
You
and
know
number
somewhere at
2
some
is
time.
immortal. He is one of the he's one of the ones from Conria. So he's been involved with the Fatui for centuries. So if there's anyone who could have been messing with this stuff, it would be number 2 and not number 11.
Great, wonderful.
If that becomes a thing, I'm gonna be so mad.
And so many bottles of ingredients.
No, they won't do it because Roman numerals aren't really a thing in Chinese.
Look, all this murder water.
Mixing in progress. Ready to drink? Stock sample? Huh.
We found the drug lab.
Amazing.
Labeled. Whoa, there's even fruit-flavored synth?
There's
Paimon.
fruit-flavored
Drugs? No way! Now in watermelon flavor! Woo!
Yeah, they made that illegal, not that it mattered by the point they did.
Don't make it flavored, because then the kids like the flavors.
Yeah, they did. That's why it's legal on cigarettes. You can only have menthol and cigarette
menthol. Is menthol even a flavor other than cigarette flavor?
It is supposed to be cooler.
So it's supposed to be like mint.
Feel like you're breathing in fire.
Looks like some kind of
You're still
place for
breathing in fire.
You're still breathing in fire, but you're not supposed to.
A place for
Experiment
research.
number 16 aims to verify Jacob Ingold's research conclusions on the primordial sea and use his theory as a foundation to
It'd be a
achieve
shame
a
if we got
breakthrough.
caught here with all this evidence and they go, "It was you."
You. Oh yeah, so we did it. We came 20 years, like that would be like 18 years before we even landed on this. Woke up from our coma.
The experiment was a failure.
And we're on this planet doing
No
things.
individual managed to resurface from the water from the primordial sea. Female specimens 22, 23, and 24 were dissolved.
So there's 24.
There's at least 24. Paimon, you should not be reading this, honey. We'll read the bad experiment papers. We've done it before.
Nope. Has to be out loud. Now
Also, this is definitely done by the doctor, Dottore. He does the human experiments.
Yeah.
Paimon's never read something so scary before.
Yeah, because we read the research documents before now. Because it was
now
just,
you're reading them out loud, helpfully.
yeah, I'm like, there've been walls of text before that we had to sit there and read and be like, yeah, no, that person's arm just decayed off his body.
Yeah.
Don't worry about that.
Don't think about that,
Someone
Paimon.
write something that terrible in such a matter-of-fact tone.
Because they're evil.
Because it's the evil scientist
You
dude.
read the rest. Paimon's too scared to keep going.
Oh, wow.
good. We did not want to do this anymore.
Oh, the goal was to save the woman the first one who was dissolved.
Oh.
The first victim was not intended to be the
Stop
first.
searching. You're killing
That's
people.
why he did all of these experiments.
I really wish I got the wall of text though instead of.
So she died from overdosing, and he's been killing all these people to try and fix
That's
that.
just insane.
Is that what I'm hearing?
But it's weird because he's not making a lower dose, like a cure dose. He's clearly still doing a killing dose.
But he's trying to make it in a way to where it would reverse the effects.
Yeah.
Huh? Isn't that the name you heard by the fountain? Paimon thought he was an eyewitness in the serial disappearance.
No, he was the murderer. Come on, man.
You mean Vache is the one who did all of these?
We can't say murders, so yeah, experiments has to work.
Yeah, he signed off a bunch of the experiment reports with his name. Not a smart move.
But personally took his lover and... No, that's not it either. If that's the case, why would he want people to resurface from the water?
Because he wants his lover back.
He didn't intentionally turn her into water. He just intentionally turned everyone else into water.
In any case, Paimon will write it all down.
Why not just take the reports?
Why are you writing? Okay.
Okay. Let's just take...
There are many more records. So 24 is not the last number. We were being nice and letting you think 24. It was 24.
Only 24.
I'll count the chest later and it'll be 24. Why did I get stuck on this?
Because it's steep.
Okay, so can I investigate the water that's doing weird things?
Yes.
Oh, look! There's an important looking basin over here.
You mean the giant thing of water?
That means this is where they make all the synth. And that special water is the main ingredient.
No way.
Including with normal water, you
Look at all that drugs.
but the pure stuff can dissolve a human.
From Fontaine.
Only from Fontaine. So if we touch it, it means nothing.
Incriminating evidence.
You know they're gonna throw us in there, right? To try and kill us.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be like, so this isn't gonna work. We're just gonna swim back up.
They know we're immune though because we didn't die before.
Yeah. But it would be funny if they tried.
Yeah.
Like, we're gonna kill you now.
Almost everything here, and it seems like our theories were spot on.
Yeah, because who is
We
best?
kind of need to know who this
We haven't found anything that reveals his true identity.
because he's been using a pen name for all eternity.
Yeah, well, and because he wiped all
Even
information.
Neuvillette wasn't able to find anything. Whoever it is probably destroyed everything to do with that name a long time ago. That way, even if we bring all this back to the opera, we won't be able to identify the true culprit.
Let's look at it again.
Paimon won't admit defeat to this guy either.
Okay. We already looked at all the clues. Are we looking at the clues again?
This microwave timer is going to go off.
Okay.
Like 4 minutes.
Yeah, I'm just looking at all the clues again. Alrighty. Nothing noteworthy at the water. Nothing here. Okay, I think it's gonna be the chest for the girls. Yeah.
You take that side and Paimon will take this side. Check everything carefully. We'll find something for sure.
That you don't. That was the whole problem, was they were all random picked victims.
Ugh. Nothing at all. And Paimon can't even find snacks either.
I found it.
Really?
Could have just said that earlier. A journal.
Vinier. Isn't that Vache's lover's name?
Oh, how convenient. You know, just kept the journal.
You found her diary. Let's see. Aw. It's just a normal diary chronicling their love story. She was so sweet, too. Oh,
Why did she make a list of baby names? I cannot read that font. If I'm supposed to be able to read that.
So many. A whole page's worth. But they're all crossed out. Was she unhappy with all of them? The final name she decided on was Marcel. Wait, but Marcel's pretty old. Has this case been going on for so long that he's Vache and Vinier's grown son?
And we've solved the mystery. It's his dad. And he's carrying on his dad's business.
Paimon still hasn't figured it out yet.
Too bad. We got it. We're gonna prove it's not child. Let's go.
And whose image do you see, Marcel? Is it a man named Vache?
Huh.
Oh, so you do know that name.
Ooh.
I'm merely surprised you'd suddenly say the name of someone I've never even heard of.
Uh-huh. Again, that's not what you
I was
say.
waiting for you to say that.
Navia, we're back!
We have the evidence!
As expected of my partner. I just knew you'd return in the nick of time.
Always.
Just how often do you intend to flout the rules of this court?
It's fine, we got
Sorry,
evidence.
Monsieur Neuvillette. Given their confidence, I expect they've found the crucial evidence.
So I never heard of Vacher, but... Is it the journal? With baby names? That is your name?
But the truth of it, Marcel, is that you've always been Vache.
Da-da-da. Also the fact that we were saying lines. Man, it's so serious we gotta read it off.
Huh?
We've investigated your lair. We already know everything. After your lover, Veneer, was dissolved, you kept abducting young women to experiment on the hopes of bringing her back to you.
And you used the baby name as a cover name. Okay.
You even created Marcel as a new identity and destroyed all records of your past as Vacher.
So that's it. Even the villains in opera performances rarely go that far. And with that, Marcel's motive has now been established. This information regarding your past also dismantles your prior timing defense. Well, Marcel, do you know where you went wrong? You fixated your gaze on the lover that passed away, instead of paying attention to the living people around you. So, you never noticed how we changed, or how we grew as individuals.
You also never understood Boss's real expectations for his daughter.
Or our determination to see things through.
Your determination.
Mr. Marcel, please speak up now if you would like to defend yourself. Otherwise, the trial will move on to the next stage.
Da-da-da.
Do you really think I wanted to do any of this?
Oh, so now you are admitting guilt. Good. Save us time.
Pay attention to you. What for? Have you ever paid attention to me? Ever empathized with my pain? Ever known how it feels to watch the love of your life dissolve right in front of your eyes?
How was it?
No one helped me. No one even believed me. All those decades ago, even the officers from the Maison Gardiennage were laughing at me. They said there's no way a human being can turn into water. So I must have gone mad from grief. Vignere's death was brushed away by all of you as if it didn't matter at all. Well, now you know, don't you? Ha! Well, it's too late now. All those who were dissolved are gone forever.
You know, dead. I killed all of them.
You only have yourselves to blame. You set up this ornate opera house in pursuit of your so-called justice, your beloved drama, while turning a blind eye to the suffering of the people. Vignere is dead. We promised each other that we would always be together. Wherever she goes, I will follow.
Are you about to drink some of the poison water?
But I'm not from this blasted place, so I can't be dissolved.
Oh.
No matter what I do.
Because he's from Snezhnaya. He's been drinking this water.
Is that water from the primordial sea that he's drinking?
Yeah, he's been trying.
I can't dissolve. Can't dissolve. Can't dissolve.
That's so weird. But okay.
So
he is guilty of it. He changed his name.
What choice do I have but to try
But he's from Snezhnaya, and so he's really depressed about the fact that the water doesn't work and he can't turn into water like his lover and just die. And he's just been killing a lot of other people in the process.
They're trying to kill himself or trying to bring her back?
Well, he's now trying to bring her back because he can't go where she is.
Yeah.
Which is being water.
And in the end, that accursed Callas still got the better of me. I spent my entire life living on pins and needles, only to get stabbed by his idiot daughter at the very end.
Yeah.
The suspect is exhibiting signs of mental distress. Guards,
yeah, he's
please
doing the mental
him.
breakdown, yeah. Mental distress.
Don't touch me! Don't anybody come near me. I still need to see Vignere. I promise. Vignere. Vignere. Please, Vignere. Don't think badly of me. All I want to do is fulfill our promises.
Because the drug water is still alcohol, by the way, so he is still drunk.
At this point, the verdict of this trial is clear. With Mr. Marcel's conviction, the charges against Mr. Tartaglia no longer have any basis.
They didn't have any basis to begin with.
Why'd you go and do that, traveler?
We helped you. You're welcome. But I wanted to fight people. Here's your vision back, by the way. You probably would have needed that.
Fine by me. I was in a bad mood, but after a show like that, I'm actually feeling pretty good.
Of course.
That was entertaining.
Please submit all the evidence you have collected to the guards, so that I might review and summarize the truth behind the serial disappearances case.
Sure.
You also want to go down to the drug lab
Yeah.
The man now known
It also
as
has
Marcel was
chests of
originally
like
named
everyone's
Marcel
personal
and
belongings,
worked as an
linking it to
adventurer
every
with
single
his partner
disappearance
and
case.
lover, Vinier.
Yeah, kind of.
During an underwater expedition, Vinier accidentally came into contact with water from the primordial sea and was dissolved in front of Vacher as a result.
Dun, dun, dun.
Vacher learned of the primordial water's existence through the work of others and began to kidnap young women for research, with the goal of discovering a method to restore Vinier back to life. To cover his tracks, he invented the new alias of Marcel and began to operate a business in Poisson. During the course of his research, Vacher discovered that a diluted concoction of water from the primordial sea can induce feelings of euphoria, and began to manufacture and market synth.
Yeah, I'm like, so the business guy was doing the business
However,
thing of selling
as he accumulated
drugs.
wealth to fund his continued research and expanded the scope, he came into conflict with Spina di Rosula. After exchanging blows with Spina di Rosula for many years, Vacher decided to assassinate their president Callas at a banquet. Although the assassination did not go as Vacher expected, he was able to turn Callas into the murder suspect by dissolving the assassin he sent to the scene. And just recently, Vacher attempted to frame Linny as the culprit of the serial disappearances case, using a similar method. However, his attempt to frame Linny failed, and the power of water from the primordial sea became public knowledge. This case also exposed enough of Vacher's machinations that he was eventually successfully charged in court.
Yay!
Thus concludes the enigmatic history of the serial disappearances case, with the truth revealed to all.
Charge was 12 years old. We can convict the guy successfully.
Woo! Yeah, if it was 20 years, we'd have issues.
The oratrice will now deliver the final verdict regarding the charges against Mr. Vacher.
Now the AI will decide.
Woo! Here's my ticket. All right, give me a 5-star. Give me a 5-star.
1 star. How dare that exist? 3 is supposed to be the minimum.
According to
3
the
isn't even
judgment
a
of the
character,
Oratrice
man.
Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinale, Mr. Vacher is guilty.
No way. He literally admitted to guilt, man.
Guards, take Vacher away.
No way.
Good. It's what he deserves.
It is.
That, the serial disappearances case.
And then someone gets melted and we're like, oh no.
No, no, someone else still has the magic water.
We really
Kinda
just
left
witnessed
it there.
history. Who would have thought the true culprit would be such a polite and
That's
well-spoken
how
guy?
serial murderers are most of the time.
Yeah, they're normal in real life, and then they just go and kill people.
Yeah. And they're well spoken and they're polite, and it's like, okay, well this person clearly isn't mental
and now
deranged.
he's finally getting what he deserves.
So they get away for it for years and years.
It's real bad.
Yeah.
Huh? Are you okay?
She's like, oh man, I finally did it. I finally avenged my father's murder. Well, not his murder, but...
And I
Marcel,
lost
you
my
were
uncle out of it.
absolutely brilliant.
The day our late boss had always hoped for has finally come.
Well, he
So
wasn't...
what is
The
with
rest easy
you,
now.
butler?
Justice
You really were
is
suspicious, man. You apparently weren't in on it, but you were really suspicious there, giving us
If
the
this were a game
information.
of Among Us, you would be in space right now.
We were voting you off the island first try.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like,
It's
oh, well,
finally
I had
over.
information about the guy, but didn't say it last minute.
It's all
Why
thanks to
not?
you guys.
Well, you see, it
And
would have been
my
dangerous
partner.
if you had. Yeah, dangerous for you.
It's like, why didn't you tell me you saw the murder happen last time when
See,
they were
Papa?
arguing about the murder?
Spina di Rosula
I didn't think
still
it was
doing
important
well
what I
with me at
saw,
the
and they
helm.
were saying what they saw.
Of course.
Well, now, hasn't this been a most delicious piece of drama? The villain has been caught, justice has been served, past wrongs have been righted, and it's a big ol' happy ending.
What do you do to mess it up?
Yeah, child, what have you been doing here this whole
Since it's
time?
been such a great show, I'll just let the false accusations against me slide. Either way, I've still got some business
What
to
is your
attend to.
business? What
So,
are you
if
doing?
you'll
What are you
excuse
breaking?
me-
He's a debt collector, man. He is beating someone up.
He likes
Please
his
wait
fight.
just one moment, Mr. Tartaglia.
Oh, do we have other charges?
Being
what now?
a loan shark.
None of this has anything to do with me.
According to court protocol, since this trial was initiated due to a charge against you, a verdict must also
Oh
be made
my
regarding the initial charge
goodness.
before the trial.
And the charge is not guilty.
Is this really necessary? Haven't you already caught the real criminal? Isn't it time for side characters like me to exit stage left?
I'm just a side character, man. I'm not a 5-star from the first arc of this game. What are you talking
Please
about?
respect the laws of Fontaine.
Please respect
This
the
has always
laws.
been the rule.
All right, but this
innocent
sure is
until
a lot of
defended.
hassle. All I need to do is stand over there, right? Let's just get this over with.
He is guilty. I don't know of what, but he's
Through
guilty of
evidence presented
something.
in the public trial that was just held, it has been established that Mr. Tartaglia has no direct connection
No
to
way.
the serial disappearances case.
That means
The guilty
he's...
party has been identified, and thus it is logical to suppose Mr. Tartaglia is innocent
We
of the
still
charges.
don't know what charges or evidence you had to charge
We now
him.
turn to the oratrice mécanique
He
d'analyse
is
cardinale to
an
render the final
outsider.
verdict on
From
the charges.
Fontaine. Or from Navia in Fontaine.
Therefore, bad man. I got bad vibes from looking at him.
According to the judgment of the oratrice mécanique d'analyse cardinale, Mr. Tartaglia is
Here we go.
guilty.
Huh? What?
Well, that can't be right. Computer, are you broken?
Isn't the point of you that you can override the computer if it's wrong?
Because you are both have always had the right answer, and it's always been the same answer, and this one's so blatantly, obviously not child.
Hey! That's not funny. Didn't you just say I'm supposed to be innocent? What's with this verdict? Is your justice machine malfunctioning?
Is your robot
You didn't
broken?
excite the audience enough, stupid.
This has never happened before. The Oratrice actually returned a different verdict from the Chief Justice.
Yeah, and that broke the machine, and it broke the world of Fontaine, and so...
Have you ever heard of an innocent Fatui Harbinger? Do you think the Oratrice might have just convicted
Yes,
him on general principle?
absolutely.
He's guilty of war crimes.
He's guilty of something.
Of a few war crimes in another nation, but nothing to do with this murder case. But he's guilty of something.
But weren't the charges about the serial disappearances case? No matter what else he's guilty of, it shouldn't affect the verdict in this case, right?
Oh, okay. Good. Would you agree?
That whatever else he may be guilty of.
He's not guilty of this.
That's also the thing, is you'd have to retry him for the other charges.
Oh,
is
yeah.
how it would be. And so
The
it would be
judgment
not...
of the oratrice mécanique d'analyse cardinale is, by law,
That's
the final
stupid.
verdict of the court.
But the
We must
robot's
accept
wrong!
the guilty verdict. Guards, please take the suspect into custody per court protocol.
And then Child fought everyone.
Child's like, no, I don't want to be arrested. Oh, it's a cutscene. Yep.
Child, no.
It's like, fuck this.
So this is how justice is done in Fontaine.
Uh-oh.
What a joke. You've got your rules. Well, I've got mine too!
Uh-oh.
Yeah, he's got the electro delusion. And he kills robots for funsies. That's also what it
Yeah,
is.
he's like, he came looking for a fight, and he's getting his fight. This is what he wanted.
Ah. Yep, there we go. Like, this isn't even his final form. Here's his final form.
Hey, you know that boss fight you do every week?
Yeah, his foul legacy. Yeah, it's magical girl transfer. Oh, Hydra. Oh.
That's bad.
He stepped
Everyone
in.
should leave.
He interrupted.
I am sorry.
Oh.
If you have been wronged, we will find the truth. But the rules of the court.
Yeah, so the whole point is to show new 5-star who just took out the boss in one hit. During.
Well, he gave up. God.
How dare. But also, you hit a mid-transformation sequence. That's against the rules.
That's rude. That's against the law where we come from.
That's against the law of magical girl transformations. You never hit during the transformation.
Well, I break the rules. I'm a 5-star.
So he was also a 5-star, you know, back in the day. He was the 5-star
Well,
Hydro.
now he's old.
Now he's old. He was in the
Old and
first...
dusty, and you don't want him. You want the new guy.
The new Hydro 5-star. This one that just beat the other Hydro 5-star.
Of course.
Apologies. This is also the first time I've encountered such a situation.
Oh, it's
However,
no
according
point
to
that
the
they can be
rules
changed when
established
they're
at the conception
stupid.
of Fontaine's court system, the Oratrice's judgment is the final verdict.
So you know how
Okay, but it did not give a sentence. It just said he was guilty of the crime.
It doesn't give.
You can give him 3 months of community service for his sentence and call it a day. That's the thing. Is like it
Well,
did.
the thing is, we learned in the first case, Linny or whoever was learning how the machine worked.
It was messing with it.
And was able to just sort of go through the vent and go up to the machine.
I guess we're breaking in and committing crimes.
Other people were able to very easily get into that air vent.
Yeah, that they built. They intentionally built it so that they could get in.
Therefore, it is reasonable to assume
Someone else messed with it to get Childe to have a guilty verdict.
Yep, and
There
it was
it
the
is.
people who wanted to clear Marcel, but Marcel was already out.
Yeah.
But just because the boss is out doesn't mean they're out.
Well, and Marcel isn't the... Well, he is the boss of this one because they did just find it in a pond. See, I always assumed they were getting it fed from someone in Snezhnaya, and that was leading the thing, but I don't know, man. Also, Harbinger infighting is a very common thing. So one of them trying to sick it on Childe so that he gets busted and arrested here in Fontaine is not outside the realm of possibility.
All I do is follow court procedure. As for why the Oratrice arrived at the conclusion it did, you should probably ask
You're the
someone
one who
more
should have that knowledge.
More knowledgeable than you. God. You should ask God about it.
Okay, we're gonna fight God now and say, let
I guess we finally get to talk to the Hydra.
Go.
He is something he's an acquaintance we know from
Yeah,
previous war battles. Don't worry
Good
about
question. Why do we care?
it. He's a frenemy. We were told by Zhongli and Senora that we're not enemies because Zhongli made the deal to begin with as a test, and Childe didn't know it was a test and willingly did the attack on his own. But Zhongli had done it as a test to see that the humans were strong enough to protect themselves and didn't need a god anymore. And then he retired.
Great.
So technically we're not supposed to not like Childe, and so we're friends, question mark.
I don't know what happened there either. Hey, stop staring at me!
Are you supposed to know everything? Are you supposed to never be wrong?
You're God!
What does Lady Farina mean by that?
Yeah, we're sort of still in public, guys. We probably can't discuss
She
this
says
right
she
now.
has no idea either, but that's impossible. Didn't she create the Oratrice herself?
Messed with it.
I think someone plugged in a flash drive with a virus.
Yeah, so are the verdicts reliable
That's
or
a
not?
guilty.
Can results like this really be called justice?
Okay, we literally learned in the first case that the reason that seat was picked was because the numbers thing was rigged. That was a main opening thing, was that someone rigged the numbers seat picker
But that
to
wasn't
pick that
part
one.
of the verdict.
No, it wasn't part of the verdict thing, but it just proves that these randomizers can be rigged to a certain answer
Oh, yeah.
in the story.
But it's more important to talk about how Lenny was, in fact,
My dearest citizen.
Messing with the computer.
Yeah.
Did you really think we'd allow an
Also, that's just
incorrect
an
verdict
organ.
to be handed out in this court?
Her big
Did
big
you
box
really
is also just the
believe
organ.
that the judgment could be mistaken or be the result of some sort of random mishap? Don't tell me. You thought even I had been blindsided by the
Yeah, because you
Oratrice's
just
results.
said you were.
No. What I said earlier wasn't a public statement.
I am perfect, and I never do any wrong.
Just now, it was pretty obvious shit.
Yeah, thank you, Paimon, for stating the obvious.
Oh, but the mindless followers will follow.
However, given the state of things, I shall give you
Oh,
an
you have an explanation.
Everything that just took place, including
It was
my
for the
supposed
drama.
shock
There
and
was
bafflement,
the courtroom.
was a part of an elaborate performance, with every action meant to stir up drama and excitement.
Can we, like, somehow use magic to just throw something at her to make her stop? Is that allowed?
Can we throw something at God to tell her to shut up.
And physically do this. Should we do this?
No.
But I really want to.
No, I think Neuvillette, who is standing right beside us and just took out Childe, would stop
not be
us.
happy.
Would just stop the hand.
Of course, for every performance
There is a script for all of these court hearings. So why do we have them?
If we know the ending, we don't know the ending, but whoever wrote the script knows the ending. Did you write the script? You didn't know you would lose the Lenny case.
If you thought Childe had nothing to do with the serial disappearances case, it is only because you've been blinded by the
what is his
superficial
evidence
appearance
of guilt,
innocence.
though? Can we see that?
We never brought it up, and that's what I'm having issues with.
He was accused.
I know he was.
Enough. That was enough to bring Marcel in.
I know, but Marcel was actually guilty and was old enough to have been here 20 years ago doing this. Again, Childe was like 10.
He was brought in later. He's still part of the conspiracy.
Everything he's done, not to mention the danger he poses, are beyond ordinary comprehension and completely
Oh, he is unforgivably dangerous. That's racist.
That's racist.
You can't say
He
that.
used a delusion in the courtroom, therefore proving his guilt of something.
All shall be revealed in time. You will come to understand my noble intentions.
Okay, can we please call Yunfei now?
Of the
Can we call an actual lawyer? I don't know their laws. I can't help you by.
Yunfei, you've memorized all the laws of Tibet. That's
And
your
this
thing.
Is not.
You will
Tibet.
recite them for fun. Tibet is the planet, my guy. This is not Tibet. This is Fontaine. Fontaine is a country in Tibet.
I'm not from Earth. I'm from Missouri.
Missouri
Missouri's on Earth.
Okay, but Yunfei should, especially if this is the nation known for its laws and courtroom,
Yeah.
she should memorize the laws of specifically this nation.
But it wasn't released yet.
I know, but she should still know the laws.
Now, having said that, although I hate to leave things hanging in suspense, it is now time for
Lead
the
actress,
performance.
you did nothing!
As the lead actress, I shall be the first to take my leave.
But you didn't do anything. I shall now take my leave. But you didn't even do anything. Sailor Moon
So
reference.
she chose to make her escape after all, did she?
I was like, she did wander
So
off.
you're saying we shouldn't put much stock into what she just said?
She was doing it to save face.
She probably just put on that performance to save face. As for the truth, it's unlikely that she actually has any idea.
She has no idea what's happening. You just said that about your god that's supposed to be omniscient. She's not omniscient. I've surprised her before. Many times.
So, like, would you have stopped us if we had stopped her pontificating up there for 5 minutes?
It's like, we threw something. Would you have stopped us?
Yes.
However, please be assured that I will continue to investigate this case.
You
in a
will still
personal
investigate the
capacity.
case.
Just as I promised. If the judgment has been incorrect, we will do our utmost to clear his name.
won't.
Alright. Even though we feel pretty badly for him, we'll take your word for it.
And he goes to jail. And he's just in jail now. It sucks
How
to be
do
Childe.
we keep him from breaking out?
That's a good question. Well, I mean, we should probably mention the part where we have his hydrovision because the minute we walk in for visitation is the minute he breaks out.
This is true.
He's like, hey, buddy pal, you know that thing I let you borrow and hold on for me for
I
next
need
time
it
we
back.
see each other? Yeah, if you could just pass that under the window, that would be great.
Okay.
So we don't know why you would ever need this.
After all, he's done plenty of bad stuff. So he should have known he'd go to prison someday, right?
No.
He's like, what?
Paimon,
Consequences?
you are not helping.
Consequences for my own actions.
That doesn't sound right.
I never thought this would happen.
Never thought this day would come. I thought
And that's
everyone
the
who knew
end.
would be dead.
That's all we get until we get to leave. But anyway.
Oh, Monsieur Neuvillette! That power you showed when you took him down. Who Are you really?
A 5-star.
A 5-star with a hydrovision.
I'm the Chief Justice of Fontaine, of course. If officers of the law lack the strength and capability to enforce it, then it makes a mockery of justice.
You were once one of the chief duelists, champion duelists, and then you became Chief Justice. That's what happened. And you know how to kick butt. You're just retired. You know, like Zhong Li, who can step in and throw meteor at everyone.
Yeah.
Whenever he wants to.
Yeah. Anyway, food, it is 8:15.
Yeah, my pizza's cold, man. I just want to leave. Are you trying to
what are you doing?
escape?
Quick, stop him! Traveler! Hey! Traveler!
Stab him!
You're supposed to be going to jail.
What are you doing over here?
I'm escaping.
I can't believe they're not better security securing him.
Stop resisting arrest. Cease, or we'll add another charge to the list.
No,
Why
wait.
is he not in cuffs?
I just want to ask the
Because we did
traveler
model
something.
handcuffs.
We don't have model.
We don't have the
Please,
animation
just
to
have
hold
them
a
in
model.
handcuffs.
Yeah, we don't have the arms to hold together. Oh, wait, we do.
Go on.
Your final words before you're in jail for forever.
Thank you. Thank you.
What do you want
I
to
was
say to
standing by
us?
the way when I finally realized something. Where did you first hear the name Vache?
I was high in front of the fountain.
I mean, I heard it from your notes. I read your notes when I found the evidence.
We're not gonna say that.
I erased all records of that name. So, unless...
You wrote it in the papers in the
Are
thing.
you still trying to prove your innocence? Give it up. You've already been convicted.
Yes. No, nothing more. Just yes.
Really? You did? You're sure? You met her? But how could that be? How did you manage to do it?
I was around the fountain. I'm not
fountain
going
of
to tell you
sea?
the hydro part.
Then she's been so close to me all along. And I just never...
Went to the fountain.
Please give me a chance to talk to her again.
No.
Just let the traveler take me
No,
to the
you're
fountain
gonna
to
escape.
see her one last time.
Or you're going to be killed.
This is the last request I'll ever
And
make
you
in
need
my
to go to jail for your
life. Do whatever
crimes.
you want to me afterwards. I don't care.
You're gonna get shot on the steps of the courthouse.
Darn it.
What? Give an inch and you want to take a mile? Do you think serial killers get to make a
Yeah,
request like
you
that?
kind of killed over 20 people, buddy. You don't
Yeah, and it was all young girls, so that makes it even
It
worse.
makes it a lot worse. Because you know what everyone thinks when you took them away to your secret lab first?
Instead of just killing them.
Not good. Not a good look. Especially when you keep their stuff afterwards.
Yeah.
That's bad.
This is really bad.
That's worse than the human trafficking.
And the
in
fact-
previous case.
Yeah, and the fact that he went, it was like, yeah, and then I'll do it to my niece. I'll threaten the niece as the next victim.
This request, is it worth as much to you as your life?
Then can we kill him at the steps
course.
afterwards? I'm
Wait,
sorry.
no. It's worth even
Oh
more
my
than
goodness, dude.
Humans. Will they betray the instinct to live
So are
just
you
to
not a
satisfy
human?
spiritual needs?
Who are you? What
I
are
mean,
you?
there's a lot of creatures out here that are not humans.
What
If
are
he's
you?
just a... He might just be one of the water spirit things. Lily the Ocean for we saw of the lover.
Very well.
Does that
just
mean
in a
you
human-
would not melt in water?
Yeah, because he just turned into the Ocean form. Because that's what we just watched was the special event where there was a girl one and she just had a human form the whole time and was like, surprise, my real form is a giant water mermaid.
Your Honor.
Yeah, that was
Fear
the...
that.
Yeah.
I will go with him.
Fuzz?
You do not need to worry about any escape.
In
I
that
mean, he
case,
took
I
out a
shall leave him in
harbinger,
your most
so-
capable
He
hands,
can
Chief
take out this
Justice.
old man.
Yeah.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Fine. It's as long as it's just to the fountain outside,
First
like
break his legs.
like theoretically there's not much else you can like you got to be escorted this way anyway to leave the opera house because that is the only way to leave unless we took
Yeah.
you on like a boat.
I don't think we're dealing with the water.
But yeah. And we know he can't dissolve into water, so he can't do that to
Well,
like
yeah.
die.
Is this the place? You said she's here, but what do I need to do to see her?
Get high enough.
I drank the water.
Yeah, And even Paimon could hear her.
It's like, perfect, I get drunk all the time.
Just drink a lot of it on the stage as well? Oh, in that case...
Vache.
I'm about to get pie.
Yes, that's it. So you heard it too.
Vinier, it's me. It's me, Vache.
Vache. Vache.
That's about all it says.
I'm here.
We'll knock you out. That'll help.
I'm coming for you. I'm finally...
Hey, wait! Be careful! Hey, wait!
And then he jumps into a fountain that's very shallow.
Vinier, is that you? It's me, Vache. Vinier.
He fell over.
Vache. Why did you come? Didn't I say? You don't need to look for me.
Yeah, that was a while ago, and you told us to tell him that when we found him.
20 years later.
20 years later, after he'd murdered a lot of people trying to find you.
You look a lot older than I remember. How long has it been?
20 years.
It's been more than 20 years. I've suffered for over 20 years.
You know.
He kidnapped a girl every year.
Yeah, that was where I was wondering. I was like, wait, because it's like, I thought it was at 20 years. And then it's like, well, I guess, and then the implication of it being more than 24, and that just being where Paimon stopped counting, means it was a few a year.
But also, it's weird for being
Only the thought of bringing you back has kept me alive. Nothing else mattered to me. I must be dreaming. Who would have thought I'd get the chance to tell you all of my feelings like this? Vinier, you are my everything. I really don't know how I could live without you.
You just lived 20 years without her.
But Vache, if you ask me, this world would be better off without
Wow.
Oh.
Oh. What are you saying?
If not for you, I would have finished my law degree and probably become
Wait, was she just a jerk the whole time?
Ooh.
What if she was just a jerk the whole time?
If not for you, I would have continued to pursue my love of
But then you killed a bunch of people to try to bring me back.
been displayed in the Palais Pneumonia itself.
That's rough,
If not
buddy.
for you, I would at least have been able to take care of my mother. And she would not have grown old.
She knows because she's all the tears and
with
feels all the
nothing but
sadness.
the tears
Yeah,
in
the
her
fountain.
cheeks.
Yeah.
It's all because of your selfishness, Vache. It's all because of
Ooh, man, that.
Wait, you are not Vinier. Who are you?
You're right. I am not Vinier.
Oh.
Sacrifices.
Oh.
That's bad.
Dude, you're dead.
You're gonna die.
You're gonna
getting
die.
Shot on the steps of the courthouse. What did I
Crazy.
just say?
Every woman who died by your hand, as our bodies dissolved, our consciousness.
Yeah, we were all like, one goal, murder this guy.
Yeah, that's bad.
Circulated endlessly within the primordial sea, and we were no longer individuals.
So the first victim who was like, oh, I want to find the guy. It's like, wow, we know his name. Great. And everyone else is like, we want to kill the guy because he killed us.
Yeah, it's like, I don't
One
know about-
versus the 20 plus more majority.
Yeah, it's like, the first was like, I don't know. The second was like, hey, we're a bit louder. Hey, we're a lot louder. Hey, there's now 20 of us. What are you gonna do about it?
I guess we're murdering him.
I'm Lemony. I'm Azine.
Lemony?
The only one I am not is Vinier.
Ooh.
Why?
So Vinier's not even in there.
Where is Vinier?
She doesn't want to see you anymore. Every tentacle of her consciousness is avoiding you.
Because now she knows that you know.
You killed 20-something
This
people.
is what you get for your selfishness. Your selfishness robbed us of our lives and our futures. You said time and time again that you'd do any and everything for her. But did you ever consider whether she'd want to see you do the things that you did? If she would despise you for what you became?
That is the morality thing of,
Yeah, and
of you
this
cross a
woman
line.
Kind of deserves this.
Yeah.
You are a liar, a heartless murderer, and a cowardly narcissist. only thing you are not is Vigniere's beloved.
Ooh.
From the moment your first victim died and her consciousness merged with Vigniere's, she has had nothing but pure hatred for you.
Oh, we've just been standing here the whole time.
We didn't drink any more water. Why are we here?
We still can connect with the water. We got water magic powers.
This sounds
We took a shot. We just have a
dumb.
shot on us. Don't worry about
We
it.
shouldn't be here.
We should not be here.
We're just watching this guy get absolutely dunked on.
Should we say that we're here?
No.
No, we'll let them
He
deal with
deserves
it.
it.
Looks like I didn't meet Vigniere back there. Back then.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. She can't hate me. Let
We're
me
about
see
to
her.
watch this guy
Please.
get murdered.
Have mercy.
Yeah, like, whoops, guess we brought him back to be murdered.
You still don't
Darn,
understand.
that sucks.
When I said don't look for me, that came from the real Vigniere. She really doesn't want to see you anymore.
I mean...
But on top of that, she also said that because it's her final drop of pity for you. She said that because she knew that if you did
Yeah,
come
you're
here,
gonna die.
we will show no mercy to you. Vache. Vache?
Oh no.
Go stop. Ooh. And then he drowned in the fountain.
Lost his soul.
Yeesh. That's ghost stuff, alright.
I'm sorry, my Yu-Gi-Oh brain was like, oh no, his soul.
He's in the shadow realm.
He's in the shadow realm, and not that he passed out at the fountain and drowned in the very shallow water, which is what I assumed was happening.
Shopping. Gosh, it's really been a long time since we've been able to relax.
My legs are killing me.
What do you mean?
It's so much walking to go
You
shopping.
walk every day.
I sure do.
I knew something great was
Great,
going to
you.
happen when I woke
Can
up
we
in
be
such a
done
good
with the
mood
plot
today.
now, please?
No, there's third
Even
act.
this weather can't put a damper on the
need to save
demoiselle's
child.
The third act isn't coming until next update.
We need to save child.
We're not
It's a
doing that
pleasure to see
today.
you both again.
I agree.
Oh, hey, Navia. It's been a few days.
Has it?
Someone's already started to
looks like
miss you.
Or is that a water effect?
That's the water effect. Water, yeah, it's the water
Yeah.
doing weird stuff because it's raining
Yeah.
and it doesn't know what to do on the tile, I think.
Now that I believe. I'm easy to work with.
It also
and
doesn't know
always
how much
bring
of it to
home the
load
bacon.
it or not from a
Who wouldn't
distance.
treasure having a partner like me?
It just looks like static coming around.
Sounds like you're really enjoying life these days, Navia. What have you been busy with since the trial?
It's been like 3 days.
It's just been one thing after the other. I've been making non-stop trips between
Why?
Poisson and the courts in Sen. Everyone from Spina di Rosula organized a memorial for my father.
Well, yeah.
We never held a
Oh.
memorial when he first died, since everyone knew that even if we held one back then, no one was going to come.
Except for everyone who still worked for Spina di Rosa, which
And
is like
also
at least...
all the people who said, no, I don't believe you did that.
Yeah, that was at least a couple hundred people, which is more than most funerals
This
get.
time, though, everyone in Poisson, and even many people from the court all attended.
No way.
So his name's definitely been cleared now. That's what we
Shame
like to
he's
hear.
dead.
It's been the dearest wish of
I mean, he's a
Demoiselle
parrot. Those aren't allowed to live.
I guess. Welcome to anime.
That blasted stubborn fool. I was right to put my faith in him. I'm so glad I didn't give up on the case all those years ago.
So now we have 2 lawyers, right?
Oh, by the
Oh,
way,
she's a
I ran into
She's more
Charlotte
into
just after I left
detective
the
thing.
memorial service.
A freelance detective who will solve cold cases for you.
Great.
Well, maybe it'd be more accurate to say I knew she would be there, and there was no way she'd just let me go.
Huh? So you know Charlotte too? The Charlotte? Journalist from the Steambird?
Well, yeah, because Charlotte tries to know everybody. She's a journalist from the Steambird.
Yeah, way back when I first became the president of the Spina di Rosula, she was all over me. Wouldn't take no for an answer.
Yeah, she wanted that interview.
The story was called The True Heart of Darkness, secret tales of the Yellow Rose. To be fair, though, it was a really flattering feature. So, we've been on pretty good terms ever since.
No.
She was trying to lean on our friendship to get me to do an exclusive piece on the serial disappearances case.
Well, yeah.
Oh, yeah. She told us about that. She's always been super interested in that case, so now her wish has finally come true too.
Yeah, she did tell us to call her when we solved the case, and we did not do that.
I told her to make sure that when she writes about you guys entering the opera house with the critical evidence, that you both sound really cool.
Thank you. Hey, you missed it. Traveler had his one line that was read audibly.
Oh.
Of him saying it was you. Your veneer.
Now that's another thing to look forward to. We trust Charlotte's
They
skills
broke
with
the
a pen
rule
for
of
sure.
the silent protagonist.
Yeah, it was that serious of a moment, man.
I also
Wait,
took Claranda
so
for
after
a while.
however many years, that's the first time we
No.
said something.
There's been like 2 other times. One of them was saying her sister's name in the cutscene as she teleports away, which sad. The other was waking up Nahida and just yelling Nahida's name in a dream space with her.
Right.
But you know, this time was the first time in public. Public speaking, number 1.
Good job.
Are you two on better terms now?
While you were investigating Vache's headquarters, Clarande gave testimony on my father's behalf.
So, Paimon really is our ability to speak, huh? And
A
that's
little
why-
bit.
It was thanks
But we
to her that
still
we were able to
say
turn the
Literally
tide.
everything.
she
I wanted to
does.
thank her.
But then
I mean,
we still have the
there's also
choices in
no
the
point
corner
in
which
being
lead
awkward
to
all the
nothing.
time.
We do,
So we
but
took
at
the
the
chance to
same
reconcile
time,
with
are
each
those,
other.
like, thoughts to Paimon.
And let Paimon say it.
Yeah.
I mean, Paimon doesn't say them when we choose them.
No.
Oh, that's great. Paimon also thought
But also Paimon's the one that's been talking this whole time, back and forth, so.
We're friends.
Anyway, now that the case is
And that's
finally
what it's been
solved,
associated with, of her being a
slowly begin to
speaking
fade
tool
from the public
aid
consciousness.
For mute people like us.
Oh,
sort of thing.
actually,
Because
there's still one last thing I
freaking
need to do.
Yoimiya's dad is deaf. And she's sat there and been like, man, I wish my dad had a Paimon.
Yeah.
Someone to help with communicating because he can't hear things.
So Paimon never shuts up. it's the opposite of whoever they're talking for. It's however much they don't talk, that's how much they talk.
Yeah, there you go. But it's just, it was like, and so it's like equating it to a deaf person needing a communication aid sort of thing. It's like, well, there you go. Paimon is for the traveler because he doesn't talk.
What is it?
I should pay a visit to my father's grave and tell him the truth of what happened.
I mean,
as well as how it all ended.
he already knew the truth
And on top
when
of
he
that,
died. So
just how
it's not
much
news.
to him.
Yeah, it's not news to him that it wasn't him and that someone else dissolved into water.
And that he knew who it was and couldn't say anything because blackmail.
Yeah, it's like darn.
That includes me.
But hey, you're doing great running the business. That's totally not broke right now.
It won't be broke anymore because they found the cold case from 20 years ago.
Can I come to? No, can we not go?
We also think Callas is a really admirable
Are we gonna learn where the graveyard is? I don't think we need to
I'd
know
like you two to
this.
share the moment with me. After all,
Yeah.
without you, there might not have been such a positive ending.
And in that case, everyone, let's be off. Considering the recent weather, we'll be lucky if we can reach
His
Marcel
grave is at the
before
ship?
dawn.
Yeah, you're right. It's been raining non-stop for a few
How
days
many
now.
court hearings have there been?
Don't worry about it. She's trying to prove herself that she can sentence people and it not be contradictory and argued immediately by the traveler as being false and thrown out. She's like, I just need a normal case where the person is guilty. And we have the evidence. And we're gonna do all of them. It's like, darn it.
Okay, but this won't remove that one law.
It's like, no, it will. It'll make me feel better. Oh wow, we teleport to the grave.
Father's grave is.
Huh?
No, we didn't.
There's
There
someone
wasn't a
there already.
teleport noise.
There was. You missed it.
Okay.
Isn't that Neuvillette? Why would the Chief Justice be here? Huh? Navia?
Because he's also like, sorry, I sort of sentenced you to death. My bad.
Dot.
My apologies. I should have asked before coming to pay my respects.
I mean, or you guys could have picked different days. The fact that you both, it's been a few days, and you both conveniently
Don't
go at the same
say
day.
Sorry about that.
Oh, I was trying to say there's no need for you to apologize. I wanted to show my father how much I've grown. But still, I doubt I've grown to the point that even the Chief Justice would feel compelled to apologize to me over and over.
Well, I mean...
In that case, I will stop apologizing for now.
Because I agree.
You really could use some pointers on understanding human emotions, Monsieur Neuvillette.
Again, you probably ain't human.
In any case, why did you come to Poisson?
Well, ever since that day, I've been turning a question over and over in my head. Just what is justice anyway?
Maybe. But also, it's the computer that was wrong. It wasn't the courts.
Yeah, but the computer is the courts. I'm not sure if you realize that.
Yeah.
The computer is the Senate.
It's like, darn, we're gonna have to overthrow that computer, and it's gonna be just me as Chief Justice.
Yeah.
Convenient. Real convenient there. And I have to deal with the childish Archon. So, really, I'm in charge.
Yeah. There was once a time when I
Such
didn't
a
want
pity
to
we
believe
have to
that there
destroy
could
the
be
computer
anything more
now.
important to humans than life itself. Oh, rather than that, it's probably more truthful to say I didn't
that
believe
is definitely
humans
the
were
lesson here, is
capable of
don't trust
resisting the most
AI in
basic
courtroom
instincts of
settings.
Don't trust AI, period.
Don't trust Chat GPT.
Or consider certain things to be
Goodness, there's
more
an entire
important than
rant
their
right
own
there,
lives.
Also that apparently he's surprised to learn that humans will find things more important to them than their own life.
Yeah.
Which, you know, is definitely a core thing of humans, is we will fight to survive, but also...
Self-value issues.
Yeah.
Which is also why I didn't stop your father from beginning that fateful duel. I believed that a truly innocent man would never throw away his life like that. That there was nothing, should have been nothing more important than one's own continued survival.
But there was to him. It was his daughter and not getting found out that he knew the truth.
Yeah.
But Mr. Callas proved me utterly and decisively wrong.
Which is why you've been questioning it out in the rain for days.
If not for his sacrifice, the serial disappearances case would have remained unsolved to this day.
Or he would have just said something.
And we would have worked it out 3 years ago,
Mr.
man.
Callas made the choice he did for his daughter, for his associates, and for many people completely unrelated to him. And in the end, from a certain perspective, one could say that he did it all for the sake of justice.
I mean, sure, if you want to call it justice and not just doing the right thing.
Justice that's higher than
the right
life
thing.
itself.
It's never wrong like it was 3 days ago. My bad.
3 days
So
ago
you
when
asked me why
we,
I came
knocked out Childe and threw him in jail.
Yeah.
I mean, that's justice for something. He's done a few
he deserves
things.
it, but not for what he was charged for.
And that's
I
the
just wanted
problem.
to say my apologies to Mr. Callas in
He's
person.
now in jail for
I should have
resisting
noticed all of this much sooner.
It's like,
This
that's
regret has
fair.
filled
He
me with
did
fair.
kind of fight all the
It has
robots
haunted
and
me
planned
for
to fight
days.
God.
Yeah, it's sort of disruption in the courtroom, too.
You can't disrupt the play.
You ruined the play! You broke the fourth wall, which is against the rules.
Yeah.
We're supposed to see
That
it as
was the last straw. He said, this is a play, I'm supposed to leave.
I'm the side character. I'm supposed to leave stage right. It's like, no.
No, stage left. You said it wrong, now die.
No, die. It's like, now you're going to
The high
jail.
and mighty chair in the opera epiclese indeed insulates one from many important things. Spina di Rosula, thank you so much for your hard work and perseverance.
I'm sorry for being mad at you before.
No way.
I mean, you're allowed to
So
be mad
you're
at him, though.
actually one of those types that's cold on the outside, but pretty thoughtful on the inside, huh? That reminds me of Silver, one of my guys.
I mean, okay, but it's not that he feels things on the inside. He's thoughtful in that he thinks a lot about things.
Yeah.
He just doesn't say all of his thoughts about what he is thinking about the thing.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Self-expression is not one of my strong suits.
Because again, I'm not human.
Didn't
My
I just say
homeboy
you
just
don't
won't
need
like
to
it, you know.
apologize?
A free child. He's not a criminal, never.
So Navia and Neuvillette seem to have made their peace as well. Let's not disturb them for now. We can wait till after
I'm
they're
on
done.
her high-pitched, unmissable voice. Let's not disturb them for now.
Also, we've stood here and listened to the whole conversation.
We sure did.
The important parts of the conversation. Whatever they talk about now isn't important.
And then we follow them.
Well, we also pay our respects or something.
Wait, so was this grave or was that the grave?
Paimon's never paid respect
What do you mean?
to someone's grave before. Did Paimon do anything rude?
You're not supposed
to walk.
Yeah, well, see, I'm worried that fly around is like she's circled it or something.
I know.
Like a cute little pixie thing, which is not polite. Because that is sort of like walking around the grave, which you're not supposed to.
She should do if she can't like walk like a normal person.
Oh no. Paimon hopes Miss Navia won't be too mad. Anyway, Neuvillette is still standing around there. It's not often that we can catch him alone like this, so why don't we go talk to him for a bit?
Let's go talk to the
Lady Farina. We can at least talk to him, right?
I'm like, he's as close as we're gonna get to the god at the moment. But yeah, we just moved to the side. Because she's still at the grave. We were down here. I don't know why it tossed us up here, but it did. And we still have more of this thing.
Why are we continuing this?
Oh, it's you two.
You know,
Did Miss Navia invite you to come pay your respects to her father?
We ran into Navia on the streets today, so
She released it the pizza?
No.
Oh.
I came up to tell you because I thought we would wrap
I see.
up.
I see.
Oh, we would.
Then is there
Cutscenes are
something
evil.
that I can help you with?
Because you keep going through them. They give you chances to take breaks.
This is the first chance, man.
We're just gonna finish the last dungeon.
Well, it's pretty hard to run
That
into
one
like
dungeon,
this
we were gonna
since
finish
you're
Okay,
there.
we could
We
not.
weren't even gonna enter the dungeon.
Yeah, we once the dungeon entering and went to the meanwhile, and then we went to the dungeon, and then leaving the dungeon went us back to the courtroom. Then we've been in the courtroom, and then leaving the courtroom was watching the guy die. And that immediately took us to the city in the rain.
Please feel free. Though outsiders, you helped us solve one of the greatest mysteries in Fontaine.
Okay, we're trying to find
It
her
would be my
sister.
pleasure to
She's
return
not
the favor.
dead. And
She is blonde like me. About my sibling.
yeah,
Your sibling.
priorities.
Another blonde-haired traveler. I'm sorry, but I've never
You've never
anyone
seen
who
another
matches the
blonde
description.
person before.
A white blonde person, that is all we can give you.
If she ever stepped foot in Fontaine, I'm sure she followed our laws to the letter and had no
Yeah.
reason to appear
Except
on
for the
stage
part
at
where
the
she's
opera Epiclese.
Princess of the Abyss.
Right now, she's
Is
kind of
there
evil right
anything
now.
else you'd
So the
like
fact
to
that she
ask
didn't
me?
break
You
any
didn't say
laws.
she's evil right now, but she's evil right now.
So not breaking laws is a surprise.
So, at court, the bad guys referred to that special water as water from the primordial seed. But what is it really?
Truthfully, that name is already quite accurate. I can only surmise that Vacher and his ilk only learned of its nature and existence after extensive research. There used to be a special sea on the surface of this planet. The nature of its seawater was rather different from that of the sea we know today. Most of Tevat's life forms were first born in that special sea. You could say it nurtured
Wow,
much
we
of our
came
Delete
from.
the Nightbot message because it had a link in it.
How dare you! Delete the VOD link post.
So it
From
really was
chat.
where everything began. It makes sense to call it primordial then.
If it was from the
But
original
today,
sea of the
primordial
planet.
sea no longer exists on the planet's surface.
That's
What
it
Vacher
means.
discovered must have been some kind of
Primordial.
special case, or a remnant from a
Has
truly
something to do
ancient
with-
age.
Does that mean the ocean is under the crust?
Huh.
That's why
So that's how it
whatever
is.
floats upwards.
Oh, you really know everything, Monsieur Neuvillette.
Cave
Wait.
face.
If that's the case, then why would people, at least people from Fontaine, dissolve in that kind of water?
Unlike everyone else. Why is not
Indeed.
everyone else
Why would the
dissolving?
primordial sea, which was known to engender and nurture life, suddenly reverse itself and devour life instead? To be frank, that also doesn't match my understanding of this world and its laws. There must still be some
They're all made
unknown
of water.
secrets around the people of this
There's more
land.
water than other people.
Is
It's
there
part of the
anything else
prophecy
you'd
that
like
we're
to
about to break down. So the prophecy is about the supposedly the people of Fontaine committed basically the original sin, the great sin sort of thing, but only the people of Fontaine. And they're destined to eventually turn into
why
water.
We're all big about this legal thing, is we'll never sin again.
We're trying to, not break the laws of the land, so we're innocent.
Sea levels will rise, and everyone will be dissolved in water, leaving Farina crying alone on her throne, but the sins of the people will be finally washed away for good.
Yeah. And so that everyone is destined just to die because they all have this original sin.
Okay, is it that her throne is high up in the courtroom so the water won't reach her?
No, it's
and that's
just...
why she'll sit above the flood as they wash everyone else away.
No, it's just a metaphor.
It was Lenny that told us back
It's
then.
also that she can't dissolve into water.
That about covers all the main points.
Yes, up to the present, I think we reached a point where we have no choice but to confront this prophecy directly.
Which is that primordial
Rumors are
water
that
will
this
melt us
prophecy is
into
rooted
water.
in the last words the former Hydro Archon left to the world before she passed away.
And that also these were the last words of the other Hydro Archon before she died.
Prophecy of the former Hydro Archon? Wow. This is the first time that we've ever heard of it.
If the spring they use to get the primordial water becomes an issue later.
Yeah.
Two parts of the prophecy have already proven correct. The rising sea levels.
Because it's right below this whole sea. Which is a fake sea they made in Fontaine. It's an artificial sea surrounded by... It's basically a big lake. Because it's landlocked.
Speaking of the prophecy, Farina has also always taken it quite seriously. Indeed, she has been collecting information and intelligence from across Tevat for this purpose.
Well,
if the
did she
rumors
tell
were
us
true,
about it?
then perhaps this prophecy is the conundrum left to Farina by her predecessor.
I'm sorry.
Can we really trust her to solve it?
Is there anything else you'd like to ask me about?
That's why I used it.
I don't like time. I don't like timers. Oh, so about Childe and going to jail.
My investigation has still not reaced its conclusion.
No
However,
conclusion.
I still believe the judgment of the Oratrice was not rendered arbitrarily.
But you also said you thought he was innocent.
For many years, I have been quite aware that the Oratrice does not simply mechanically repeat the verdict that I give on each case. As a divinely created mechanism, the people's unified faith in the concept of justice.
So if everyone else... See, that's the thing. It sort of is like an energy thing where...
That's why it's the scale thing.
Not only can it produce the incredible power of indemnitium, but it likely also possesses other traits, such as self-awareness.
Wait, well, it's more that it's self-aware.
Which is all to say, I have been prepared for a situation like this for a long time.
So what does that mean for us?
Does that mean you'll help us with this because you were prepared for it to someday say you were wrong?
So when Lenny told us that he heard a human voice from the room where the Oratrice's core is stored...
I was not aware such a thing had occurred. Perhaps that could serve to prove my conjecture. I will add that to the list of items.
Yeah, I'm like, we said it in the court case. We said that Lenny wasn't there because he was sneaking into other place. And that part of our evidence was that there was another voice in there with him. Yeah. Adding that there was another person involved.
In any case, I am inclined to believe that the Oratrice does have a methodology all its own. We just do not have enough information.
Maybe we should ask the person who made it.
Based on Farina's reaction, I doubt even she has any idea what
It's just the Archon made this magical item to cast judgment.
Time-tested twin tricks of bravado and drama.
That would have been the case with the last, with Sumeru and its freaking knowledge headsets. But they've said Farina is the one who made this one.
We regret to say that the Fatui Harbinger will just have to bide his time in the fortress of Meripede.
Darn, he's in jail.
If we did incorrectly convict him of crimes he did not commit, we will most certainly compensate him to the fullest extent allowed by the law.
We're just letting him out and maybe giving him money.
If you ask Paimon, the only compensation he'll want is a no-holds-barred fight with you.
True.
You beat him in one hit. He is not going to let that go.
He's not going to let that go because you beat him mid-transformation in one hit. That's just wrong.
That's not fair. We don't know who could actually win in the fight because you took a cheap shot. That was a cheap shot.
Before I was at full power. That's just not fair.
You're supposed to wait the 20 minutes.
I don't even have my hydro thing. It truly was no fair.
And so it's like, you know what? I'm not even going to go for the retrial. I just want to fight this guy.
Yeah. It's like,
Is
now
there
can I do
anything
trial,
else you'd like to ask me?
Combat? No, that's everything. I have no more questions.
Very
After
well.
we have 4 questions.
It was my honor to provide you with what answers I could. I very much enjoyed conversing with you.
Thanks,
it will soon
I
be
guess.
time for me to leave this blissful tranquility behind and return to Palais Memoriam.
Darn.
You really are super busy, Monsieur Neuvillette. Paimon thought you only came here to pay your respects today because you had the day off.
Crime and villainy do not have the day off, and so justice must work around
You're
the
just
clock as well.
Batman. But
This
Batman's
is
stuck in the
merely nature of
courtroom.
justice's work.
It's stuck in the courtroom. That is like...
That is Ace Attorney. What are you talking about?
No. That's like the worst description. That's like the worst thing for Batman ever.
Well, it's like crime never sleeps is Batman's thing.
Well, yeah, I know that's a thing. Crime never sleeps.
And so I must always be out there in the night.
Right, you've got a point. Huh?
And
I
justice.
just noticed that the rain has stopped.
Good. Justice has been served. You don't need to go because there's no trials happening.
Wait, but how did the trial end if I wasn't there? Oh.
Didn't give another false thing.
Oh, that was just a normal rain. Never mind.
Those don't happen in Fontaine. It's always...
I think it was Farina freaking out, and she's finally chilled out about...
I don't believe you. I don't believe she is chill at all, considering the fact that not only did we get a verdict she was not ready for, but then the thing gave a different answer than the chief judge. It was like, uh-oh, many things are going bad.
Yeah, but I'm done. I can eat food.
Now that the entire story's done, what are you gonna do next time?
I would do the character story quest thingy next time.
Inactivity serves no purpose whatsoever.
And I also got like 2 different quests unlocked from that, which we're not worried about.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see you guys next time. Oh wait, there was a message. I don't know who that is. Is it a dancing creature?
Yes.
Anyway, hi, welcome to stream.
Yeah, hi, we're gonna go eat. It
I'm
is
sorry.
9 o'clock.
Yeah, we need to eat food.
Bye.
Bye.